Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Deku became the hero of 10 Worlds Part 1. If you guys enjoy this what if and want to see Part 2, comment down below and let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content and leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also share this video with your friends and check out the description in my playlist. The author of the story 𝗧𝗵𝗲 from Wattpad. So let's start the video. Somewhere in deep space there were two spaceships engaged in combat. Inside the larger spaceship that was just attacked, two drones were working the controls and analyzing the smaller ship's movements, while a large humanoid squid was sitting giving commands. Inside the larger spaceship that was just attacked, two drones were working the controls and analyzing the smaller ship's movements, while a large humanoid squid was sitting giving commands. Drone 1. Hull damage 20%, weapon system still operational. Humanoid squid, I have come too far to be denied. 9. Humanoid squid, I have come too far to be denied. The Omnitrix shall be mine, and there is not a being in the galaxy that dares stand in my way. The scene changes to a boy who seems to be about 10 years old sitting at a desk in school making a paper airplane out of boredom. As he finishes making the paper airplane, he then throws it as it flies towards the teacher. The paper airplane hits the back of the teacher's head as it caught her attention. She turns around to find the culprit. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, the boy quickly grabs his textbook and hides his face, acting as if he was reading it, hoping for the teacher to not notice him. Time skip in the background. The clock could be heard ticking as it is a minute until 3 o'clock. Ben stares at the clock intensely, waiting for it to be time for school to end. Come on, as the second hand of the clock finally reaches to the top, the bell finally rings, notifying everyone that school is now done for the day. Yes. School's out. Ben quickly grabs his 𝗕𝗬𝗪 backpack from the side of his desk, puts it on his back, and starts to rush out of the classroom. But he was stopped by a hand that was on his shoulder. He turns back to see his homeroom teacher behind him holding a paper airplane. Teacher, before you leave I would like to have a word with you. Man. Meanwhile, outside of the school, 3 kids were standing under a tree where there were no other people in sight. The 2 school bullies Cash and J backs a scarred boy back into the tree. Cash, normally, we'd take your money and beat you up. But since it's the last day of school, we're going to give you a break. Now fork over the cash so we can get out of here. Leave him alone. The 2 bullies turn around to see Ben, who was done talking to the teacher and trying to defend the scared boy who was being picked on by the 2 school bullies. Get lost, shrimp. I said back off. Cash, oh, looks like we got a hero. Suppose we don't want to back off. What's a quirkless loser like you gonna do about it? Ben grows angry as the 3 stare intently. He then rushes towards them as he cocks his fist back. Time skip. Ben was now seen laying on the ground covered in dirt and bruises as the 2 bullies stand over him with their quirks activated. Cash's body was a little bulkier as his quirk was a body modification quirk that gives him a power boost. As for J, rocks were floating in his hands as his quirk was able to lift objects telepathically. As they were beating up Ben, J seemed to be firing nearby rocks as projectiles at the quirkless boy. Luckily, the boy who was being harassed for money ran away from the scene while the 2 bullies were beating up Ben. Cash, looking down at the injured Ben, that's what you get when a quirkless loser like you tries to be a hero. People like us have to show you your place. Yeah, you said it, Cash. They both start to laugh at the poor Ben until they suddenly scream in pain. Ben opens his eyes and looks over to the 2 bullies as he sees them screaming in pain, and also see that something was jammed in their ears. Ben quickly recognized what it was. Oh no, I'm dead. Don't you guys have anything better to do besides picking on people? The 2 bullies stumble back and turn around to see a little girl their age. She had black hair that was straight cut, a sort of I don't care expression, and wires coming down from her earlobes shaped like headphone plugs. Cash, 𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗏. What are you doing here? 𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗏. Well, as I was waiting for this, pointing at Ben Dweeb, one of my classmates ran into me and told me what happened. So, I came here to get the person I was waiting on. You're gonna pay for what you did. 𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗏. Raises earphone jacks. I can raise the volume louder and make you go deaf, you know. Chills run down the bullies' spines as they were afraid of her words. They both then quickly ran away as they were shouting their last insults. Cash, We'll get you next time, you tomboy. 𝗕𝗁 just huffs and walks over to the beaten-up Ben as he stands up and pat the dirt off of his clothes. Ben, you know I didn't need your he. Before Ben could even finish his sentence, he was immediately stabbed in the side by one of 𝗕𝗁's earphone jacks. Ben out. What was that for? 𝗕𝗁, are you kidding me? How much of a dweeb are you? Why were you picking a fight with those two? Ben, they were picking on a kid, so I stepped in. 𝗕𝗁, sighs, I admire your sense of justice, but next time just call for help. Grabs Ben's hand. Now come on, your grandpa should be here by now. Ever since kindergarten, Ben and 𝗕𝗁 have been best friends. They were so close that even 𝗕𝗁 calls Ben's grandfather grandpa. They would go to each other's house every day to play games, read manga, even play instruments with 𝗕𝗁's parents. When Ben found out that he was quirkless, most of the other kids laughed and made fun of him except for 𝗕𝗁. She was sincerely sorry for him, she even cried about it, but Ben always acted like he didn't care, but in truth he was still upset not having a quirk. As for Ben's parents, he doesn't know what happened to him. At the age of 7 they didn't come home one day. He remembered vividly that one day his grandfather, Max Tennyson, came to Ben's house and told him that his parents were gone. Ben's parents were both pro-heroes but not very high-ranked heroes. He was told by his grandfather that they lost their lives on duty, only that. He didn't tell Ben how, why, where, or when. Ever since that day he lived with his grandfather. Ben, 𝗕𝗁, slow down. Why are you such in a hurry? 𝗕𝗁, I've been looking forward for this camping trip all week and I want to get there as soon as possible so we don't waste any time. Ben, why are you so excited about camping? 𝗕𝗁, because I've never been camping before. Ben, you do know, there's nothing to do in the woods, right? You just sit around the campfire in the freezing night and just look at the stars. 𝗕𝗁, stop trying to make it sound so bad. I've been looking forward to looking at the stars with you all week. Ben, with me. 𝗕𝗁 realized what she just said as she blushes madly. She quickly lets go of Ben's hand and turns to him while flailing her arms in embarrassment. 𝗕𝗁, blushing, and no, that's not what I meant. I meant to say that I was excited to watch the stars with Grandpa Max because he knows lots about stars. Laughs nervously. Ben, are you okay? You're acting weirder than normal, and if that's so, why don't you two just go without me? It's not like I want to go camping. 𝗕𝗁, shut up, you're coming too. 𝗕𝗁 marches angrily as Ben follows her, still confused. The two finally made it in front of the school. They see an old RV with an old man in the driver's seat. The two finally made it in front of the school. They see an old RV with an old man in the driver's seat. Max, come on, you two, let's go. We're burning daylight. I want to make it to the campsite by nightfall. Sorry, Grandpa Max, this doofus was getting into trouble again. Ben, Max. Ben, what happened? Why are you covered in bruises? Ben, it's nothing, Grandpa, don't worry about it. 𝗕𝗁, I will explain on the way to the campsite, Grandpa Max. The scene changes to nighttime where 𝗕𝗁 and Ben were sitting at a picnic table while Grandpa Max comes out of the RV with a bowl that seems to be their dinner for the night. He set the bowl down on the table as Ben and 𝗕𝗁 looks at the dish only to have the look of disgust on their face. Max, chow time. Max, chow time. Ben, okay, I give up. What is it this time? Max, marinated mealworms. Hard to find them fresh. You know, they're considered a delicacy in some countries. 𝗕𝗁, and totally gross in others. Like ours. Max, well, if these don't sound good, I've got some smoked sheep's tongue in the fridge. Ben, Grandpa, just for once couldn't we just have a burger or something? Max, nonsense. You two are still young and should try new things. Who knows, you may even like them. Hold on, I'll go grab the tongue. Heads back into RV. Ben, to 𝗕𝗁, okay, I got a half-eaten bag of potato chips and a candy bar in my backpack. What do you got? 𝗕𝗁, I have gum, some hard candy, and trail mix. Ben, do you think we can make them last the rest of the weekend? 𝗕𝗁, let's hope. Who can eat this kind of stuff? Ben, hey, I'm forced to eat this stuff practically every day. 𝗕𝗁, I am so sorry. The two then sulk together. Back in space, the two ships were still in combat, the smaller ship trying to get away, but the bigger ship was right on its tail. The large ship then fires multiple lasers at the smaller ship as one of the lasers hits the back of the ship, destroying part of it. Drone 2, their propulsion systems have been destroyed. 𝗵𝗃 𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗆, prepare to board. I want the 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗃. The ship that was being chased primes a laser blast and fires directly at the larger ship's control room, blasting the humanoid squid across. But immediately after the warship retaliates, blasting the smaller ship to pieces. Out of those pieces, a small pod shoots down into Earth's atmosphere. Back at the campsite, Ben and 𝗔𝗂𝘁 were still at the picnic table as their heads were laying on the table while their stomachs rumble in hunger. Ben, so hungry Max then walks out of the RV with a bag of marshmallows. Max, who wants to roast marshmallows? Ben, 𝗔𝗂𝘁, yes. They both jump up out off the picnic table as Ben snatches the bag of marshmallows from Max's hand and tries to open them. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, come on Ben, open them. Ben, I'm trying. Max chuckles at the scene while Ben continues to struggle to open the bag. Max, so Ben, it seems you've been in another fight. Ben, still trying to open bag, yes, so. Max, Ben, we've talked about this, Ben. Hey, they started it by picking on a kid. Max, I'm glad to hear you were trying to help, but that doesn't mean you have to get in a fight. Ben, well, I didn't have a choice, all right. Max, there's always a choice not to fight. Ben, I just worry about you, son. Ben, I bet if I had a quirk you wouldn't be worried as much as you do. Is that what this is about? 𝗕𝗏𝗃, stop it. You know that's not what Grandpa Max meant. Ben realizes what he say and goes silent. Ben, I am sorry Grandpa, I didn't mean to Max. It's all right, son. Ben, sorry, I'm gonna go for a little walk. He hands 𝗔𝗂𝘁 the bag of marshmallows and heads to the woods. As 𝗔𝗂𝘁 was about to follow Ben, she was stopped by Max. Max, just give him a little time to himself, 𝗔𝗂𝘁. 𝗔𝗂𝘁 looks back to see Ben was gone and has a worried expression. In the woods, Ben is walking while kicking a pebble. Ben, frustrated man, why did I have to be such a JRK to Grandpa? He was just worried about me, and in return I yell at him, sighs Ben, then hears something roaring in the sky. He looks up to see what seems to be a shooting star. Ben, amazed, whoa, a shooting star. I wish that I would manifest a quirk. As Ben finishes his sentence, the shooting star instantly changes its course and aims straight for Ben. Ben, gasps. Ben quickly runs away as the shooting star crashes, causing smoke and debris in the air. As the smoke clears, Ben gets back up and heads towards the crash site and looks down at the crater to see a round metallic pod. As the smoke clears, Ben gets back up and heads towards the crash site and looks down at the crater to see a round metallic pod. Ben, it looks like a satellite or something. The ledge of the crater starts to crumble. Ben screams as he falls in. As he gets to his feet again, he looks at the pod, with it opening to reveal a glowing object with a symbol of an hourglass. As he gets to his feet again, he looks at the pod, with it opening to reveal a glowing object with a symbol of an hourglass. Ben steps closer to get a better look as the glow becomes brighter and sees Ben. Steps closer to get a better look as the glow becomes brighter and sees Ben. A watch. What's a watch doing in outer space? Ben smiles to himself, stepping even closer to the pod, outstretching his arm to pick up the watch. As he does, the watch leaps from the pod and onto his wrist, latching itself to Ben. He starts to freak out and tries to take the watch off by force but fails. Ben, get off me. Get off. Ben, get off me. Get off. He then quickly climbs out of the crater and screams. Ben, Grandpa. Back at the campsite, Max and 𝗔𝗂𝘁 were sitting around a campfire waiting for Ben. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, Ben's been gone for a while, I'm starting to get worried. Max, giving a reassuring smile, I'm sure he'll be back any moment. 𝗔𝗂𝘁. Back with Ben in the woods, he was trying to pry off the watch with a stick before it breaks, leaving him hopeless at getting it off. He then decides to inspect the watch. Ben presses the button on the watch by and causes the faceplate to go up. Ben, whoa, the watch symbol of an hourglass then changes into a silhouette to appear. The watch symbol of an hourglass then changes into a silhouette to appear. Ben, cool. Ben then uses his finger to push down on the watch and then heat blast. Oh, I'm on fire. Starts to calms down. Hey, heat blast. I'm on fire. Starts to calms down. Hey, I'm on fire and I'm okay, check it out. I'm totally hot. Snickers. Heat blast then turns around to see a tree behind him and starts to get an idea. Heat blast. Oh yeah, here goes. Slinging his wrist, heat blast shoots a fireball out of his finger, blowing a branch off the tree entirely. Slinging his wrist, Heat Blast shoots a fireball out of his finger, blowing a branch off the tree entirely. Heat Blast. That's what I'm talking about. This is just like having a quirk. Between his hands, Heat Blast creates a larger fireball. He then slings the fireball through, not 1, but 3 trees. However, this causes a fog of smoke. Heat Blast's smile drops as he sees the fire created by him spreading to other trees. However, this causes a fog of smoke. Heat Blast's smile drops as he sees the fire created by him spreading to other trees. Heat Blast. He runs to the fire and tries stomping out a flame with his feet, only for it to erupt into a larger fire. Heat Blast. Oh man, I am going to get so busted for this. Back at the campsite, Max and 𝗔𝗂 notices the smoke coming from the woods. 𝗔𝗂, what's that? Max, looks like the start of a forest fire. We better let the ranger station know. Probably some darn fool camper out there, messing around with something he shouldn't. Max pauses, before he and 𝗔𝗂 came to a realization. 𝗔𝗂 and Max. Ben. Max quickly opens a camping kit and grabs 2 fire extinguishers, passing one to 𝗔𝗂. Max, better take this. The two then run into the forest towards the smoke overhead. Back in the middle of the forest fire, Heat Blast continues to put out the fire but was unsuccessful. Heat Blast. This would be so cool if it weren't so not cool. In the forest, 𝗔𝗂 is putting out fires by spraying the extinguisher. Up until she shoots it at Heat Blast's back, causing him to turn around to look at her. 𝗔𝗂 screams, what the? Heat Blast. Look, I know this looks weird, but there's no reason to be scared. Heat Blast was then cut off by 𝗔𝗂, who hits him with the extinguisher, knocking him down. When he tries to get to his feet, 𝗔𝗂 sprays his head, knocking out the flames on his body for an instant until he relights his flames. Heat Blast coughs. 𝗔𝗂, are you a villain? Did you cause this fire? Gasps, what did you do to with Ben? Heat Blast. 𝗧𝗏, it's me. Heat Blast and 𝗔𝗂 stare at each other. 𝗔𝗂 then has a look of shock on her face. 𝗔𝗂, is that you? What happened? Heat Blast. Well, when I was walking, this meteor fell from the sky and almost munched me, except that wasn't a meteor or a satellite, but this cool watch thing that jumped up onto my wrist, and when I tried to get it off, I suddenly was on fire, only it didn't hurt when I was accidentally starting this mega forest fire. Max. Running up 𝗔𝗂, are you cut off as he sees Heat Blast what in blazes? 𝗔𝗂, Grandpa Max, guess who? Gestures to Heat Blast, waving, it's me, Grandpa. Max, Ben. What happened to you? Ben? Well, when I was walking, this meteor. 𝗔𝗂, explain later. We have to deal with this fire first. Heat Blast, what do we do? Max, thinking backfire. Start a new fire and let it burn into the old fire. They'll snuff each other out. Think you can do it, Ben? Heat Blast, shooting flames. I can definitely do. Heat Blast then runs further into the forest. He then does as Max told him and creates a backfire with his fire blast, causing the forest fire to die down. Back in space, the large ship was being repaired by drones. Inside the ship, the humanoid squid seems to have been severely injured from the explosion and now is in a capsule. Humanoid squid, what do you mean it's not there? This battle nearly cost me my life. And you say the Omnitrix is no longer aboard the transport. Drone 1, sensors indicate a probe was jettisoned from the ship just before boarding. It landed on the planet below. Humanoid squid, to a drone in the shadows go. Bring it to me. Back with Max, Heat Blast, and 𝗔𝗂, they were sighting around the campfire while Heat Blast finished explaining his story. Max, and you said that this watch just jumped up and clamped onto your wrist. Heat Blast, this time it wasn't my fault. I swear. Max, I believe you, Ben. 𝗔𝗂, do you think he's gonna stay a monster forever? Max, he's not a monster. He's an alien. Heat Blast and 𝗔𝗂 look at each other and then at Max inquisitively. Max, I mean, look at him, what else could he be? 𝗔𝗂, well, I guess it wouldn't be that bad, we could just say that it's your quirk. Heat Blast, yeah, I guess, but I don't want to be fire guy forever even though it is pretty cool. Max, don't worry, Ben, we'll figure this thing out. Suddenly the symbol of an hourglass on Heat Blast's chest starts to blink red and starts to beep as a burst of red flash covers Heat Blast. Being too bright, 𝗔𝗂 and Max cover their eyes but looks back when the brightness dies down. They then see Ben back to his old self. Ben, happily on me again. Trying to remove watch, I still can't get this thing off. Max, better not fool with it anymore until we know exactly what we're dealing with. I hate to break to you guys, but I think we should head back today. A pod shoots from the large ship above orbit, hurtling down to the city. As it crashes and creates a crater, people who were around start to panic as some pro-heroes goes to the crater to check the situation. As the pro-heroes arrive to the crater, they were then met by a gigantic robot. Ben, 𝗔𝗂, and Max were in the RV in traffic heading back to the city. 𝗔𝗂, I can't believe we had to cancel our camping trip, Max. Sorry, 𝗔𝗂. Maybe next time. 𝗔𝗂 then notices Ben messing with the watch by taping the template, turning the dial, even trying to bite the watch itself for some unknown reason. 𝗕𝗏, quit that dude. Grandpa Max said not to mess with it until we know what we're dealing with. Ben, come on, you got to admit that you're a little bit curious about what else this thing can do. 𝗔𝗂, well, yeah, but that's why you shouldn't mess with it. We don't know what else it can do, so just leave it alone. Ben, look, if I can figure this thing out, maybe I can help people, really help them. I think I might even be able to become a hero with this. 𝗔𝗂, so how did it feel? Going alien. Ben, messing with watch, it freaked me out at first. It was like I was me, but it was also like I was someone else. I was excited after that, it was like I had a quirk. The watch's faceplate then pops out once more as the silhouette appears. Ben K. I think I figured out how I did it. Before 𝗔𝗂 can respond, they heard a large explosion. They both get up from their seat and head to the front to the driver's seat. They see people were running away in panic from the sound where the explosion was. Max, what's going on? They then see a hero come crashing onto a car all beaten up and injured. The three exit the RV and head to the pro-hero to see if he was alright. Ben, he's seriously injured. Max, are you alright? Pro-hero number 1, what are you doing? Run. They all then hear something approaching them. They then see a giant robot that seemed to be the one causing the destruction coming towards them. Ben, what is that thing? 𝗔𝗂, is it a villain? Max, I don't know, but let's not stay to find out. Max then carries the pro-hero over his shoulder, then starts running the opposite direction. 𝗔𝗂 was about to follow but stopped as she notices Ben just standing still. What are you doing? Let's get out of here. Ben, those people. 𝗔𝗂 then looks to where Ben was looking at and sees that there was a man stuck underneath a car with a little boy trying to pull him out, as well as an injured woman with a bleeding leg who was trying to limp away from the giant robot. 𝗔𝗂, is there no other pro-heroes around? Ben, I have to do something. 𝗔𝗂, what? You can't be serious. Max, what are you two doing? Come on, let's go. 𝗔𝗂, come on Ben. Pro-heroes should be arriving soon. Ben, but we don't have time. Those people are in trouble now. Ben without hesitation presses the button on the watch as the faceplate pops up. Max, Ben wait. Ben then slams his hand down on the faceplate. 𝗕𝗏𝗄𝗃 rushes in at the robot. The robot notices the injured woman and was about to attack until 𝗕𝗏𝗄 yells to the robot, catching its attention. 𝗕𝗏𝗄, hey, leave her alone. You want somebody to pick on? Try me. The robot looks at 𝗕𝗏𝗄 and begins to scan him. The robot scanner then stops on the hourglass symbol on 𝗕𝗏𝗄's left side of the chest. The robot then blasts 𝗕𝗏𝗄 with a laser, sending him flying and crashing into a nearby truck. The robot blasts another laser at the truck, making it explode. 𝗕𝗏𝗄 gets out from the pile by his sharpened arm and then examines it. Diamond, spikes forming on sharpened arm. Cool. As the robot walks closer, 𝗕𝗏𝗄 gets out of the rubble and rushes at the robot once more, swinging his now sharpened arm at it, but the robot dodges by jumping up. The robot then drops back down, landing on 𝗕𝗏𝗄, trapping him under its legs. Diamond, oh, I think I'm in trouble. The giant robot then grabs 𝗕𝗏𝗄 and throws him into a car. As 𝗕𝗏𝗄 gets back up, he notices that the robot was looking at the man trapped under a car with the little boy, trying to help him out. The robot charged up its laser and ready to shoot, but 𝗕𝗏𝗄 rushes in front of the laser with his two sharpened arms and blocks the attack. As he was blocking the laser, he notices that the laser was deflected towards another direction. 𝗕𝗏𝗄, unable to hold it any longer, gets pushed back by the laser, knocking him down. As the robot starts to charge its laser once more, 𝗕𝗏𝗄 gets an idea. He stands back up in front of the trapped man and the little boy protecting them. Diamond Head, to robot, come on. Burn one in here. Points at his chest. 𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗍. The robot fires its laser at Diamond Head, who puts his hand out blocking the laser once more. He creates spikes under his feet to help him stop in place and not to get knocked down. Diamond Head, what comes around goes around. Let's see how you like it, you techno freak. Diamond Head cuts the giant robot in half with the reflected laser blast, destroying it. 𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗃. Other pro-heroes finally arrive to the scene only to see the threat was destroyed and a diamond-covered person was standing victorious. Pro-hero number 2, what happened here? What happened to the robot? 𝗔𝗂𝘁 points at Diamond Head. He took care of it. Max, way to go, be a diamond-headed guy. Diamond Head, oh yeah, who's bad? Jumps up and down, yeah. 𝗔𝗂𝘁 and Max then gesture Ben to get out of the scene as quick as possible so people wouldn't figure out who he was. But Ben was too caught up in his victory. Diamond Head, that's right, nobody messes with. Before he could finish, the hourglass symbol starts to flash red and beep as a red flash engulfs the diamond hero. As the red light dims down, everyone sees that the diamond-headed hero who took down the robot turned out to be a 10-year-old kid with no hero license. The pro-heroes walk up to Ben. Pro-hero number 3, you have a lot of explaining to do, son. Ben, ah man, years have passed since the incident of the giant robot that Ben Tennyson has defeated. After Diamond Head's identity was revealed to be a 10-year-old boy, Ben got scolded by many pro-heroes for heading into danger and doing hero work without a license or becoming a professional hero. But he was not the only one who was scolded. After the giant robot incident, both Ben and his grandfather were taken into police's hands for further questioning. Max explained everything that has happened that day, even about the watch that was latched onto Ben's wrist. The police couldn't believe the story as it was so unreal, but they couldn't think of any other conclusion. The police suggested to examine the unknown device on the boy's wrist, as Max thought it was a good idea as well. Ben was brought to many places, a hospital, scientist's lab, even pro-hero agencies. Even if he was brought to those places, none of them had a clear answer what the device was. It was far more advanced than anything they had available or even seen. They weren't even able to examine it thoroughly as the material of the watch was unbreakable. So, of course that means that Ben couldn't remove it at all, but he didn't mind at all. In fact, it was probably the best thing that ever happened to him. He finally had something that was close to a quirk. He was able to follow his dream in becoming a hero. Not only did the police know about the watch, but the whole world knew soon after. Apparently, the day Ben destroyed the robot and saved the people in trouble as Diamond Head, it was caught on film and uploaded to the internet. At first nobody knew about it, but as time went by, Ben would use his watch in various situations. There was even a time he met another Diamond Head named 𝗃𝗏𝗃 and found out that the watch was called the 𝗕𝗵𝘃𝗃 and was the most powerful weapon in the galaxy. And of course, Ben would use the 𝗕𝗵𝘃𝗃's power for his childish schemes. A blogger named Jimmy Jones took interest in 𝗕𝗏𝗃's extraterrestrial being sightings and started to piece things together. He noticed that most of the aliens had an hourglass symbol that resembled a certain boy with a unique watch. Thus, he revealed to the media of Ben Tennyson and the 𝗕𝗵𝘃𝗃. Soon after, the press would go to Ben's house and harass him with questions. He was very popular with people and the media when they found out about the 𝗕𝗵𝘃𝗃, as people were interested in the most powerful device in the galaxy and its wielder. 5 years later, a middle schooler in his uniform was laying on the grass beneath a tree under a blue sky. The wind blows softly as he sleeps peacefully, but he hears footsteps approach him as a familiar voice calls out to him. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, there you are. You know, I've been looking all over for you. No. The boy grunted, sitting up and yawning. Ben, what do you want? 𝗔𝗂𝘁. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, does the handout for school application ring a bell? Today's the last day to turn it in. Ben, oh yeah, that was today, wasn't it? 𝗔𝗂𝘁, did you write it? Ben stands up and smiles at 𝗔𝗂𝘁. Ben, smiling, I lost it. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, eyes closed, smile, oh, is that so? She then immediately stabs one of her earphone jacks into Ben's ear and blasts the sound of her heartbeat in his ear as he screams in pain. After even all those years, Ben and 𝗔𝗂𝘁 were still best friends. They even went to the same middle school, as they are also in the same class in their 3rd school year. They both decided to go down the path of a hero and applied to one of the prestigious hero schools in Japan. A high school. 𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗆 dragged Ben all the way to the teacher's office to get a new handout and turn it in as they wrote you. A high school for their first recommendation. 𝗔𝗂𝘁 Ben, thank you for your time. They both then step out of the teacher's office and walk down the halls. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, you're a handful, you know that. Ben, yeah, now that's out of the way, let's go home. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, not so fast. We're heading to the library. Ben, library? Is there a book you want to borrow? 𝗔𝗂𝘁, no, I'm going to be studying for the entrance exams. Ben, okay, but why do I have to go? 𝗔𝗂𝘁 doesn't say a word as she has a smile on her face. Ben quickly realized what was going to happen, so he quickly turned the other direction and starts to run away, but 𝗔𝗂𝘁, who suspected that Ben would run away, grabs his uniform collar and stops him. Ben, no. Let me go. I don't want to study. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, not gonna happen, you're coming with me and you're gonna study. Ben, I'll just use gray matter for the test. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, you know you're not allowed to do that. Now come on. Time skip. Ben was now in front of the door of his house with a tired expression and smoke coming out from the top of his head. Ben and 𝗔𝗂𝘁 were studying in the library for 4 hours straight, which felt like an eternity for him. Ben opens door. I'm home. Max pokes his head out of the living room door and sees his grandson. Max, Ben, welcome home, what were you doing out so late? Ben, 𝗔𝗂𝘁 dragged me to the library to study for the exams. Max, is that so? Smiles, I'm proud of you. Ben, what's with the praise of all sudden? Max, chuckles, sorry, it's just before you had the Omnitrix I was worried about you and you future. But now I feel at ease, knowing that you're going down the path of a hero and you using the Omnitrix for good makes me so proud. Max's touching words moves Ben, making his body filled with joy and determination, and makes him even more determined to study harder and pass you. Entrance exam. Max, now I made a special feast for you today. Ben, frightened, special feast. Max, I made a special grub worm dinner, they're full of protein. Ben, aw man. The next day at Ben and 𝗔𝗂𝘁 school, the bell rings notifying the students that class is over. 𝗔𝗂𝘁 quickly grabs her bag and heads over to Ben's desk, making sure he doesn't run away. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, alright, dweeb, don't even think about trying to run. Ben puts backpack on, come on, let's go to the library and study. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, blank face, huh? Ben, and after that we should train you. Entrance exam isn't only a written test, they have a practical exam too. 𝗔𝗂𝘁 puts hand on Ben's forehead, are you okay? Do you have a fever? Ben, swatting away 𝗔𝗂𝘁's hand, stop that. I'm fine. I just thought that I should take this more seriously. 𝗔𝗂𝘁 was at loss for words seeing Ben so serious. She smiles, then lightly punches his arm. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, then we better get started. Ben, right. For the past few months Ben and 𝗔𝗂𝘁 would always go to the library to study, and after their study sessions they would train together. 𝗔𝗂𝘁 would practice with her earphone jacks while training her body for the entrance exam. As for Ben, he would train his body and his hand-to-hand combat in his human form, then would transform into every one of his aliens afterwards, thinking of new moves and maybe even surpassing their limits. And just like that, the day of the entrance exam arrived. Ben was getting ready to head to the entrance exam before he was stopped at the door by his grandfather. Max, Ben, what is it, Grandpa? Max smiles, do your best, I know you can pass. Ben, thanks, I will. With that said, Ben heads out ready for his exam. Time skip. Ben finally arrived at high school and sees that 𝗔𝗂𝘁 was waiting at the entrance while listening to her music. 𝗔𝗂𝘁 notices Ben, what took you so long? Ben, relax, at least I'm not late. When did you get here? 𝗔𝗂𝘁, about 30 minutes ago. Ben, 30 minutes. You know you could have just gone in without me. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, I just wanted to make sure you came here just in time. Smirks, you do have a tendency being late on an important day. Ben, I do not. Come on, let's go in. As Ben walked past 𝗔𝗂𝘁 and headed into 𝗔𝗂𝘁 stops him by calling his name. Ben stops and turns to 𝗔𝗂𝘁, who has a faint blush on her face. Ben, what is it? 𝗔𝗂𝘁, when we finish the exam and if we both get in there's something I want to tell you. Ben, can it be now? 𝗔𝗂𝘁, I will only tell you if we both pass. Ben, alright. I promise to hear you out. Now come on, let's go. They both then head into high school to take their entrance exam. After all the students from different schools arrived, they all took the written exam, and after they were all done, they were all taken to the different test cities at the training grounds for the next part of the exam. They were told by the pro hero 𝗵𝗃 to take out different value point villains in order to get a good score, and that there's a 0-point villain that would appear. After that was explained, Ben was in a different area from Jiro and was in his black and white tracksuit. 𝗵𝗃, okay, start. Everyone looked up and saw the 𝗵𝗃 yelling from a tower. 𝗵𝗃, what's wrong? There's no countdown in a real fight. Run. The die has been cast, you know. Ben looked over and saw the rest of the students from other schools already running into the training area. Ben, I better get going too. Ben then runs into the area deep into the city and was already met with a large group of 2-point villain bots. Ben, this is gonna be a piece of cake. 𝗵𝗃 or forearms will take you bucket of bolts down in no time. With that said, Ben presses the button on the Omnitrix and slams his hand down, and then with that said, Ben presses the button on the Omnitrix and slams his hand down, and then Ben, opens his eyes and sees he didn't transform. Point robot. Target locked on. The robot swings its mechanical tail at Ben, but he quickly dodges by ducking. He then begins to run away while the 2-point robots follow him. Ben, twisting the ring of the Omnitrix, come on, not now, not now. You're already charged, just let me transform. As Ben was trying everything to activate the Omnitrix, he continues to dodge the robot's attacks. Suddenly, a 1-point robot appears in front of Ben trying to attack him, but Ben slides underneath it and dodges it. Ben, come on, just work, you stupid watch. Anyone is fine. Diamond Head, Cannon Bolt, Rip Jaws. Heck, I would even take Gray Matter. The robots all surround Ben, unable for him to escape. But suddenly, the Omnitrix cocks up and Ben, without even checking what alien he would turn into, slams down on the faceplate, and then suddenly, the Omnitrix cocks up and Ben, without even checking what alien he would turn into, slams down on the faceplate, and then plug alien. Whoa. Who's this guy? You know, Omnitrix, I'm always excited when you give me a new alien, but this isn't the best time. The 1-point robot raises its leg and prepares to attack. Plug alien, well, hope this guy is strong. The plug alien prepares to catch the robot's incoming attack, but was immediately sent flying into a building wall and lands on the ground in pain. Plug alien, I'll guess we can scratch out super strength. One of the 2-pointer rushes in front of the alien and prepares for its attack. The defense alien closes his eye, bracing himself, but the 2 tendrils on his head stab into the robot and absorbs the robot's energy, causing it to go out of commission. Plug alien, opens eye, what? Stands back up, did I absorb its energy? The 1-point robot was heading towards the alien while his arms start to surge with electricity. The alien then moves his arms in front of him and aims his fingers at the robot. Suddenly, a blast of blue energy blasts out from the alien's fingers, causing the robot to explode. Plug alien smiles, now that's what I'm talking about. But his celebration was cut early as he hears more robots coming towards him. Feedback, oh, you guys want some too? Then I'll give it to you. Some feedback action. After destroying a few robots, Feedback was able to obtain 40 points by destroying robots. Feedback, alright, if I keep this pace up I'll be able to get even more points. Feedback starts to look for more robots, but only could find destroyed robots. But suddenly a massive robot appears, and it was the 0-point villain. Feedback, that is one big robot. The 0-point robot then slammed its fist into the ground, destroying part of the city. Feedback was able to jump out of the way as the other students started to run away. Feedback, there's no reason to destroy that thing. Time's about to run out, I gotta find more robots. And girl, oh wow. Feedback looks back over to the 0-point robot and saw a brown-haired girl, and saw that she was trapped underneath debris. Feedback looks back over to the 0-point robot and saw a brown-haired girl, and saw that she was trapped underneath debris. 𝗵𝗃, less than 2 minutes left. Feedback, only 2 minutes. But I can't just. Feedback was then cut off as he saw a boy in a blue tracksuit with green hair running towards the 0-point robot. Feedback, hey wait, that idiot. Feedback follows the green-haired boy. As the boy starts to get closer, he begins to squat down and then jumps into the air with incredible power. As the boy starts to get closer, he begins to squat down and then jumps into the air with incredible power. Feedback, whoa. Feedback, seeing the amazing power he just witnessed, snaps back to reality and runs to the girl and lifts off the debris off of her. Feedback, you alright? Girl, why yeah, thank you Feedback, don't mention it. Feedback looks back up and sees the green-haired boy getting closer to the robot's face. The boy cocks his fist back as his sleeve of tracksuit starts to rip. What he did next left Feedback and the other students in shock. The boy punched the robot with tremendous power, destroying it, saving the girl and Feedback. What he did next left Feedback and the other students in shock. The boy punched the robot with tremendous power, destroying it, saving the girl and Feedback. He might even be stronger than 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏. As they continue to watch, Feedback notices that the boy was starting to fall straight down. Feedback, he's falling and it looks like he's hurt. Girl, I'll make you lighter, so jump up and catch him. Feedback, what? Girl, there isn't time. Feedback, alright. The girl then puts both of her hands on Feedback's back. Feedback then jumps as high as he can. He notices that his body was lighter and he was able to jump higher. He was able to reach the green-haired boy in time and caught him. Feedback then starts to fall normally with his sudden lightness was now gone. Feedback, to green-haired boy, don't worry, you're safe now. But they both then hear a beeping sound, a sound that Feedback was familiar with. He looks at his chest where the omnitrix symbol was and sees that it was beeping and flashing red. As the beeping ended, Feedback turns back into Ben. Ben? Panicking, no, not now. Ben, who was still holding the boy, was still a few feet off the ground that could injure a person badly. As they were about to hit the ground, Ben was slapped in the face by the girl and he began to float. Girl, release. Ben then fell onto the ground safely. He puts the green-haired boy on the ground and sighs in relief. Ben, that was close. A week has passed since the entrance exams, and the results were coming back today. After Ben saved the green-haired boy, he thought that the boy wouldn't pass, as the boy seemed that he didn't get any points. As for Ben, he was unsure if he passed himself. He was able to get 40 points, but he had a feeling that it wasn't enough. While Ben was in thought, his grandfather walks in with a letter in his hand. A letter from you. Ben takes the letter in his room. He opens it and sees a round device inside. The device starts to light up, causing Ben to drop it on his desk with surprise. The device showed a hologram of the number 1 hero, All Might, in a yellow suit. All Might, I am here as a projection. Ben, what? All Might. All Might, young Tennyson, I'm here to inform you that you passed the written exam and got 40 points on the practical exam. In the practical exam, your performance was truly amazing, but unfortunately you weren't able to get enough points. Ben, frustrated, I knew it. Ben looks down with a hole in his stomach full of frustration. He failed. He was unable to pass. He failed his grandfather and his best friend. Music. All Might. If that was all there was to it? Ben looks up. All Might. The entrance exam the other day was not graded, only on villain points. How can a hero course reject people who save others and do the right thing? Call that lip service. This is a job that requires risking one's life to put that lip service into practice. Rescue points. And they're given by a panel of judges. It's the other basic ability we at you look at. Ben Tennyson, 36 rescue points. At that up to you other point and you have 76 points in total. You pass. Ben then begins to remember the time he was little, before he got the Omnitrix. Memories flashes to him with a bunch of kids laughing at him, telling him he couldn't become a hero and to give up on his dream. A tear rolls down his eye as he smiles at All Might's words. Ben, this is so unreal. All Might, come, young Tennyson. This is your hero academia. Ben wipes away his tears and smiles. He then hears his phone ring and sees he received a message from a certain someone. Ben was walking in the night wearing a green and white hoodie with the number 10 on left side of his chest. He then arrives to his destination, a nearby park. Ben then sees the person who messaged him to come to the park. He walks up to the figure. Ben, did I keep you waiting? 𝗔𝗂𝗁, oh hey, no, I just got here too. Silence fills the air before 𝗔𝗂𝗁 breaks it. 𝗔𝗂𝗁, did you get your results back? Ben, yup. 𝗔𝗂𝗁, why ya? Ben, Sue, are you gonna tell me or what? 𝗔𝗂𝗁, you first. Ben, what, why me? You should tell me first, you're the one who called me here. 𝗔𝗂𝗁, alright, then let's say it at the same time. Ben, Okay, on the count of 3 then. 1, 2, 3. 𝗔𝗂 and 𝗵, I passed. They both had shocked expressions on their faces, but it soon turned into happiness as they knew that both of them passed. 𝗵, you passed. That's great. Congrats. 𝗔𝗂, thanks, congrats to you too. 𝗵 turns around and looks at the sky man. Who would have thought that we would both get in one of the prestigious schools in Japan? Not only that, but we're both going to the same school again. Chuckles, I never thought we would be together this whole time. 𝗔𝗂, why ya? 𝗵 looks back at 𝗔𝗂. Yeah. 𝗔𝗂, remember the day of the entrance exam when I said I wanted to tell you something? 𝗵, you said you would tell me if we both passed. So, what is it? 𝗔𝗂 slightly blushes and starts to play with her earphone jacks while 𝗵 was confused. 𝗔𝗂, to be honest, when I heard that you were Quirkless, I was worried about you. 𝗵 starts to become more serious and listens. 𝗔𝗂, your dream was to become a hero, even if you were Quirkless. You would even jump into to save other kids from bullies when they were being picked on, even though you didn't stand a chance. But I admired that about you. Even if you didn't have a quirk, you would rush in and help people. You made me want to become a hero. When you got the Omnitrix, at first I was worried, but now I think there's no one better than you to have it. 𝗵 smiles at 𝗔𝗂's words as he continues to listen. 𝗔𝗂 stops messing with her earphone jack, looks down, musters up all of her courage, and begins to blush even more. 𝗔𝗂 stops messing with her earphone jack, looks down, musters up all of her courage, and begins to blush even more. 𝗔𝗂, 𝗵, I like you. 𝗵, smiling. 𝗔𝗂, I like you too. 𝗔𝗂 blushes even more. What? 𝗵, why are you so surprised? 𝗔𝗂, I mean since when? 𝗵, since always. 𝗔𝗂, you were always by my side ever since I can remember. You were the only one who didn't laugh at my dream even if I was Quirkless. You would always help me if I was in trouble, and you were always on my side. The first thought that came to my head when I got the Omnitrix was that I was able to go down the path of a hero with you. If it weren't for you, I would have given up my dream long ago. So, thank you, 𝗔𝗂. 𝗔𝗂, 𝗵 smiles. Thank you. 𝗵, hey, I should be thanking you even more, your bestest friend ever. 𝗔𝗂 blushes. Well, we're not best friends anymore, 𝗵. Yeah, guess we're not. Then what are we? 𝗵 then begins to think hard as 𝗔𝗂 giggles at him. 𝗔𝗂, there is a word for us, you know. We're 𝗵 snaps fingers. That's it. 𝗔𝗂, you're not just my bestest friend. You're my greatest friend ever. 𝗵, yeah, that has a nice ring to it, don't you think? 𝗔𝗂, hold on, 𝗵. What do you think we are right now? 𝗵, like I said, the greatest friends ever to exist in this world. 𝗔𝗂, 𝗵. What did you think I said meant to you? 𝗵, you meant that you wanted to let me know that you were my #1 friend and that we'll always be each other's side to help each other out, right? 𝗔𝗂 blushes. What? 𝗵, man, I never thought that you would say that kind of stuff. Expressing your friendship thing was the last thing I thought you would say. Chuckles again. 𝗔𝗂, is something wrong? 𝗔𝗂, who was blushing and filled with rage, looks at 𝗵 and was wondering how stupid this dweeb could be. 𝗔𝗂, you idiot. With that said, 𝗔𝗂 stabs both of her earphone jacks into 𝗵's ear, sending a loud volume of her heartbeat, making the wielder of the Omnitrix scream in pain. It was morning, the sun was shining, the temperature wasn't too cold nor too hot, and today was a special day for 𝗵. Today was the first day of his new high school life. At the Tennyson residence, 𝗵 was currently in his bed, still sleeping while his alarm was going off. Still drowsy, he turns of his alarm and sits up on his bed while scratching the back of his head. 𝗵, yawning, man, I shouldn't have played Sumo Slammers SmackDown so late last night. I barely feel like I slept. What time is it? 𝗵 grabs his phone and checks the time, and what he saw made him jaw drop. He saw several messages from 𝗔𝗂 and the time being 8 o'clock. High school starts at 8:25. 𝗵, it's 8 o'clock. I overslept. He quickly jumps out of his bed and gets ready fast. After a couple minutes later, 𝗵 is seen bursting out the entrance door of his house wearing his school uniform, and underneath his blazer he was wearing his white and green zip-up hoodie. 𝗵 would use the Omnitrix and turn into 𝗬𝗓 to easily get to school in time if he was allowed to. Unfortunately, 𝗵 wasn't able to use the Omnitrix in public. After he got the Omnitrix and society found out about the device and its power, it was considered a quirk, So Ben had to follow the law like everyone else. He wasn't able to use the 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁𝗃's power in public without a license, and he even went to the city hall and registered the 𝗵𝗃𝗃 as his quirk. Ben, I'm never gonna hear the end of this from 𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗃. Time skip. Ben with minutes to spare made it to you. Anne was in the halls running to his class, but since the school was enormous he was having trouble finding his class. Ben, come on, where's class 1A? As Ben was running through the hall he finally sees a sign that said 1A, as well as two familiar people he saw at the practical exams. Ben, hey, I know you too. The two who were also standing near a boy with glasses look over to Ben. Brown hair girl, hey, I know you. You're the guy that was that weird thing with one eye. How do you turn into that? It was pretty cool. Ben, 𝗬𝗏𝗧𝗏. Oh, you mean feedback? Green hair boy, you're the one that caught me when I was falling at the practical exams. Sees 𝗵𝗃𝗃 and starts to fanboy the 𝗵𝗃𝗃. Oh my gosh. Are you Ben Tennyson? Ben, I am. The two then start to talk to Ben at the same time, unable for him to respond. Green hair boy, fanboying. I can't believe it. I always wanted to meet you in person. When I saw the aliens all over the internet I always looked for more videos and analyzed them. Brown hair girl, I wonder if today's just the entrance ceremony and orientation. I wonder what our teacher's like. Aren't you nervous? Ben, wait, hold it you two. One at a time. Go somewhere else if you want to play at being friends. The four then looked back and saw a man in a sleeping bag laying on the ground. This is the hero course. The man then took out a juice packet and started to drink it, and everyone just looked at him, surprised. Everyone, something's here. The man stands up and unzips his sleeping bag. It took 8 seconds before you were quiet. Time is limited. You kids are not rational enough. I'm your homeroom teacher, 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏. Nice to meet you. Ben, homeroom teacher. 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗧𝗏 pulls out gym uniform from sleeping bag. It's kind of sudden, but put this on and go out to the field. Everyone After 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗧𝗏 told them to head out to the field, everyone got dressed in the gym uniform and headed out to the field, and 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗧𝗏 told them they'd be doing a quirk assessment test. Everyone, a quirk assessment test. Brown hair girl, what about the entrance ceremony? The orientation? 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗧𝗏, if you're going to become a hero, you don't have time for such leisurely events. S selling point is how unrestricted its school traditions are. That's also how the teachers run their classes. You kids have been doing these since junior high, too, right? Physical fitness tests where you weren't allowed to use your quirks. The country still uses average taken from results from students not using their quirks. It's not rational. Well, the Ministry of Education is processing. 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗧𝗏 then looks over to 𝗵𝗃𝗏. 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗏, you finished at the top of the practical exam, right? 𝗵𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗁. 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗏, in junior high, what was your best result for the softball throw? 𝗵𝗃𝗏, 67 meters. 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗏, then, try doing it with your quirk. 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗏 then tossed 𝗵𝗃𝗏 a ball and he walked into a white circle. 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗏, you can do whatever you want as long as you stay in the circle. Hurry up. Give it all you have got. 𝗵𝗃𝗏, stretching then, well 𝗵𝗃𝗏, stretching then, well 𝗵𝗃𝗏, 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗏, know your own maximum first. That is the most rational way to form the foundation of a hero. 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗏 then showed the class the results of 𝗵𝗃𝗏's softball throw and they were all shocked. 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗏 then showed the class the results of 𝗵𝗃𝗏's softball throw and they were all shocked. 2 yellow hair, 705 meters. Seriously. Pink girl, what's this? It looks fun. Elbow guy, we can use our quirks as much as we want. As expected from the hero course. 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗏, it looks fun. You have 3 years to become a hero. Will you have attitude like that the whole time? Alright. Whoever comes in last place in all 8 tests will be judged to have no potential and will be punished with expulsion. Everyone, shocked huh? 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗏, we're free to do what we want about the circumstances of our students. Welcome to you, hero course. Brown hair girl, last place will be expelled. But it's the first day of school. No, even if it wasn't the first day of school, this is too unfair. 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗏, national disasters, big accidents, and selfish villains. Calamities whose time of place can't be predicted. Japan is covered with unfairness. Heroes are the ones who reserve those situations. If you wanted to go talk with your friends at Mickey D's after school, too bad. For the next 3 years, you will do all it can give you one hardships after another. Go beyond. Plus ultra. Overcome it with all you have got. Ben, what he's saying is harsh, but it's the truth. I've been given a once-in-lifetime opportunity to become a hero, and I'm not going to waste it. I've got to give it my all. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏. All right, demonstrations are over. The real thing starts now. The first test was the 50-meter dash after a couple students have already gone. Ben was looking at the Omnitrix, looking through his aliens. Ben, what to transform into 𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗆? Hey, dweeb. Ben looks to his right and sees 𝗔𝗂𝘁 walking up to him. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, you were almost late today. Ben, yeah, I know. If you're here to scold me, do it later. I'm trying to decide what alien I should turn into. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, I'm not here to scold you, and why don't you turn into 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏? He is your fastest alien. Ben, yeah, but I have to think about the other tests too. If I turn into 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, I have to the whole test as him. I need an alien who can manage all the tests with ease. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, and that would be Ben him. Slams down on Omnitrix as Ben transformed. It caught everyone's attention and leave them in awe. As Ben transformed, it caught everyone's attention and leave them in awe. Yellow hair. Did you see that? Red hair. He just transformed. Elbow guy. I just remembered. He's Ben Tennyson. Pink girl. You mean that guy on the news that can turn into aliens? He's in our class. That is so cool. I always wanted to meet him. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, forearms. Why forearms? Forearms, you'll see. Forearms gets in front of the starting line and gets ready. Robot, on your mark, get set, go. Forearms runs as fast as he can but wasn't as fast as Ben's other aliens. He then crosses the finish line as the robot announces his result. Robot, 5:18 seconds. 𝗔𝗂𝘁 then walks up to forearms. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, again, why forearms? That wasn't very fast. Forearms, it's complicated. You wouldn't understand. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, smirks. Watch didn't give you the alien you wanted, did it? Forearms just grunts in response. Elbow guy, 540 kilograms. What are you, a gorilla? Oh, an octopus. The two then hear something break as they look over to forearms' direction. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, you just broke it? What are you doing? Forearms, oops. Time skip. After continuing to take different tests, they all returned to the ball throw. Currently the brown-haired girl was up. She used her quirk and threw the ball as it went all the way up in the sky. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏 held up the result, and everyone saw that it was an infinity symbol, and everyone looked surprised. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏 held up the result, and everyone saw that it was an infinity symbol, and everyone looked surprised. Everyone. Infinity. Yellow hair, that's insane. How is that possible? Ben, I'm not sure I can beat infinity 𝗔𝗂𝘁. I'm sure nobody can. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏. Alright, who's next? Right as 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏 said that, everyone starts to hear a beep, which was only familiar to forearms and 𝗔𝗂𝘁. Pink girl, what's that noise? Forearms, looking at the flashing symbol on his shoulder. Oh no. Forearms rushes to 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏 and grabs a ball from him. Without any time to waste, he throws the ball with all his power. Right as he throws the ball, there was a red flash, and Ben was back to his normal self. The ball was now nowhere to be seen. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏 then looks at his results, then shows it to the class. Forearms' results were 2,250 meters. /n. Sorry, I literally don't know how far forearms can throw the ball. I looked up as much as I can, so I just anticipated that he will throw it that far. Ben, phew, that was close. Present mic, alien name forearms. This alien's prominent ability is enhanced strength. Being able to lift several times his own weight and punch through various resilient material with ease. Present mic, alien name forearms. This alien's prominent ability is enhanced strength. Being able to lift several times his own weight and punch through various resilient material with ease. The media are still debating if he's as strong as All Might. Ben then walks back to 𝗔𝗂𝘁 with a smug look on his face. Ben, that's why I chose forearms. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, yeah, whatever. The two then saw that the green-haired boy was next. Ben, he hasn't been using his quirk for the whole test. If he doesn't do something quick, he's gonna be in last place. As the green-haired boy was getting ready to throw the ball, his arm starts to glow. He then throws the ball, but it only went a few feet in front of him. Green-haired boy, I was defiantly trying to use it just now, 𝗬𝗧𝗏. I erased your quirk. 𝗬𝗧𝗏, that entrance exam was defiantly not rational enough. 𝗬𝗧𝗏, that entrance exam was defiantly not rational enough. Even a kid like you was accepted. Green-haired boy, you erased my quirk. Gasps those goggles I see. You can erase other people's quirk with your quirk just by looking at them. The erasure hero, Eraserhead. Ben? 𝗕𝗫𝗁, have you heard of him? 𝗕𝗫𝗁, nope. 𝗬𝗧𝗏, from what I can tell, you can't control your quirk, can you? Do you intend to become incapacitated again and have someone save you? Green-haired boy, that's not my intention. He was then interrupted by 𝗬𝗧𝗏, who brought the green-haired boy over with his bonds and told him something. He then releases the boy as the green-haired boy walked back to the circle. After standing for a few seconds, the boy then got ready to throw the ball, and this time instead of his entire arm, just his fingers started to glow. After standing for a few seconds, the boy then got ready to throw the ball, and this time instead of his entire arm, just his fingers started to glow. He then threw the ball, causing a massive shockwave, and everyone looked at him shocked. Ben then looks at the green-haired boy and sees that his finger was broken. Green-haired boy, Mr. 𝗬𝗧𝗏, I can still move. 𝗬𝗧𝗏, this kid 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗁. Tell me what's going on, Deku, you 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗁. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗁 rushes at Deku trying to get some answers but was stopped by 𝗬𝗧𝗏's bonds. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗁, what the? Theses cloths are hard. 𝗬𝗧𝗏, they're weapons for capture, made of carbon fiber woven together with metal wire made of a special alloy. Geez, don't keep making me use my quirk over and over. I have dry eye. Everyone, it's such a waste, since his quirk is so amazing. 𝗬𝗧𝗏 releases 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗁, we're wasting time. Whoever's next, get ready. After that, everyone continued the tests. As for Ben, the Omnitrix was still in recharge mode, so he continues to do the test in his human form. When the class finished the test, they all gathers around to see the results. 𝗬𝗧𝗏, okay, I'll quickly tell you the results. The total is simply the marks you got from each test. It's a waste of time to explain it verbally, so I'll show you the results all at once. He then presses a button and a hologram appears in front of the students. Results: Momo Yaoyorozu Shoto Todoroki Katsuki Bakugo Tenya Ida Fumikage Tokoyami Mizo Shuji Ben Tennyson Mashireo Ojiro Ijiro Kirishima Mina Ashido Ochako Uraraka Koji Koda Tsu Azui Yuga Aoyama Hanta Siro Denki Kaminari Kyoka Jiro Toru Hagakure Minor Mineta Izuku Midoriya 𝗬𝗧𝗏. By the way, I was lying about the expulsion. It was a rational deception to draw out the upper limits of your quirks. It was a rational deception to draw out the upper limits of your quirks. Midoriya, Uraraka Ida. Wait. Yaoyorozu. Of course that was a lie. It should have been obvious if you just thought it through. Ben, Jiro, Kaminari, Mineta. I didn't notice Siro. It was a little nerve-wracking. Kirishima, I'll take up the challenge anytime. 𝗬𝗧𝗏. Walking away with that, we're done here. There are handouts with the curriculum and such in the classroom, so when you get back, look over them. Ben, sighs, I hope tomorrow won't be like this. It was the next day of school. The curriculum of 𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗁's hero course, regular required classes, like English in the morning. Present Mike, which of these English sentences is wrong? Ben, Ashido, Jiro, Kaminari. So, normal present Mike, everybody? Head up. Let's get this party started. Lunch is at the main cafeteria, where the students can buy gourmet food for reasonable prices. Currently Ben was sitting with Jiro while stuffing his face with a cheeseburger and some chili fries as tears of joy roll down his cheeks. Ben, life is appealing. Jiro, I guess your reaction is reasonable since you have to live with Grandpa Max's cooking. It was now the after lunch, and Class 1A's next class was Hero Basic Training. All Might, I am coming through the door like a normal person. Coming through the door like a normal person. Everyone, All Might. Kirishima, wow, he really is a teacher. Tsuyu, that's a costume from his Silver Age, isn't it? Ojiro, its style is so different, it's giving me goosebumps. All Might, I teach Hero Basic Training. It is a subject where you train in different ways to learn the basic of being a hero. You'll make the most units of this subject. Let's get right into it. This is what we'll do today. All Might, combat training. And to go with that are these. All Might, combat training. And to go with that are these. The wall that All Might was pointing at opened up to reveal suitcases with everyone's hero suits. All Might, costumes made based on your quirk registration and requests you sent in before school started. After you change, gather in ground beta. Everyone, yes sir. The scene changes to ground beta where All Might was waiting for the students in front of a tunnel as he hears footsteps coming closer. All Might. They say the clothes make the man, young men and ladies. Be fully aware from now on you are heroes. You are heroes. All Might. That's great, everyone. All Might. That's great, everyone. You all look cool. Now shall we begin, you zygotes? Ben, I like your hero costume, 𝗔𝗂, it suits you. 𝗔𝗂, slightly blushes are really, thanks. I like yours too. But looks at Ben from head to toe, they just seem like normal clothes. You didn't modify them. Ben, no, I didn't think I needed to since I go alien most of the time. All Might, now, it's time for combat training. 𝗬𝗂, sir. This is a battle center from the entrance exam, so will we be conducting urban battles again? All Might, no, we're going to move ahead 2 steps. Most of the time, fighting villains takes place outside, but if you look at the numbers, atrocious villains appear indoors at a higher rate. Imprisonment, house arrest, backroom deals. In this society filled with heroes, truly intelligent villains hide in the shadows. For this class you'll be split into villain and hero teams and fight 2-on-2. So you, without basic training. All Might, this is a real battle to understand those basics. However, the key this time is that there's no robot you can just beat up. Yaoyorozu, how will wins and losses be determined? Bakugo, can we beat them up anyway? Uraraka, will the punishment be expulsion like with Mr. Aizawa? 𝗬𝗂, how shall we split up? Aoyama, isn't this cape crazy? All Might, struggling to answer questions. I'll answer all your questions. Pulls out a piece of paper. Now listen here. The situation is that the villain have hidden a nuclear weapon somewhere in their hideout. The heroes are trying to dispose of that. The heroes need to catch the villains or get to the nuclear weapon back in the allotted time. The villains need to protect the weapon the whole time or catch the heroes mid-area. This situation feels very American. All Might, teams and opponents will be determined by drawing lots. 𝗬𝗂, they're being decided so haphazardly. Mid-area, pros often have to create makeshift teams with heroes from other agencies, so maybe that's why. 𝗬𝗂, I see. The discernment to look ahead bows to All Might. Please excuse my rudeness. All Might, it's fine. Let's do this quickly. As everyone drew their lots, Ben and 𝗔𝗂 ended up being on Team G together. All Might, the first team to fight will be these guys. All Might then pull out Team D and Team A. All Might, Team A will be the heroes and Team D will be the villains. Everyone else, head toward the monitor room. Everyone, yes sir. In the monitor after Team A's and Team D's little exercise it was time to hear their results. All Might, well, even if I say that the MVP for this battle was young 𝗬𝗂. Tsuyu, it's not either of the winners Ochako or Midoriya. All Might, well why is that? Does anyone know? Yororozu, raising hand yes, Mr. All Might. That is because 𝗬𝗂 adapted the most to the context of the training. From watching the match, it appears Bakugo acted on his own because of an obviously personnel grudge. And as Mr. All Might said earlier, it is foolish to launch a large-scale attack indoors. In the same way, taking into consideration the damage he received, Midoriya's plan was also rash. As for Uraraka, she let her guard down mid-battle, and her final attack was too reckless. She treated the papier-mâché as a real weapon, she would not have been able to do something so dangerous. 𝗬𝗂 had prepared for his opponent's arrival and assumed it would be a fight over the weapon, which made him late in responding to the final attack. The hero team only won because they took advantage of the fact that this was training. They were practically breaking the rules. Ben, amazed how was she able to say that without stuttering. All Might, well, young 𝗬𝗂 also has parts of him that could be more relaxed but well, gives thumbs up that was correct. Alright everyone, let's change locations and start the second match. Tackle this training after thinking about what we just talked about. After a couple of training matches it was now time for Ben's team to have a go. They were up against Team C, Momo Yaoyorozu and Minor Mineta. Ben and 𝗔𝗂𝘁 were currently outside of the building waiting for All Might to start the training exercise. All Might, 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗲 fourth match. Team G are the heroes, and Team C are the villains. Start. Ben, alright. Let's do this. The two walk into the building. Ben, man, watching 𝗵𝗃𝗍 and 𝗵𝗃𝗍𝗁's fight got me all fired up. Which alien should I turn into? Forearms. Diamond Head. Oh, or maybe Humongousaur. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, can you maybe tone it down a bit? 𝗔𝗂𝘁 then stabs one of her earphone jacks in the wall, trying to pick up sound of the opposing team and hopefully find out where they are. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, besides going, Humongousaur will destroy this building, he's too big. Don't try to muscle way through. Pointing up there on the 4th floor. I hear one of them barricading a door, must be 𝗖𝗎𝘅. If they're barricading the door, that means they're both in the same room as the bomb. Ben, alright, I'll go forearms and bust down the door and retrieve the bomb. This is going to be easy. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, have you not been listening to me, dweeb? That's not a goof idea. Ben, why not? 𝗔𝗂𝘁, number 1, we don't know the opposing team's quirks, and number 2, we're up against 𝗖𝗎𝘅. She might have a plan to take forearms down since she saw what he can do. Remember, don't try to muscle it, try to think. Ben gets an idea and smiles. Okay, if we can't muscle a way through, then let's just go through. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, what are you talking about? 𝗔𝗂𝘁 then figures out what Ben was thinking and was not too keen of his little plan. Ben? Oh no, you're not talking about. Ben just smiles and pushes the button on the Omnitrix, activating it. Time skip. It's been about 5 minutes and Team C were still waiting in the room where the bomb was, with the door barricaded and 𝗖𝗎𝘅 holding a metal staff while 𝗵𝗃𝗲 was looking at her features. 𝗖𝗎𝘅. It's already been 5 minutes and they haven't made their move. What could they be planning? 𝗵𝗃𝗲, maybe they're thinking about giving up. Guess again. The two then turn to their right to see 𝗔𝗂𝘁 with a slightly uncomfortable face standing in the same room. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. They were both wondering how she got into the room. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, what? How did you get in here? You couldn't have gotten in from the windows, we're on the 4th floor. As 𝗖𝗎𝘅 was analyzing the situation, she then notices that someone was missing from 𝗔𝗂𝘁's team. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, well, whatever. You're by yourself. It's 2 against 1. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Right as 𝗔𝗂𝘁 said that, 𝗵𝗃𝗲 then starts to shiver and hug himself as he suddenly felt cold. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, ugh, a black like mist phases through 𝗵𝗃𝗲 and then forms into something and reveals itself. Ghost freak, what's the matter, little man? You look like you seen a ghost, reveals himself freak. Laughs creepily 𝗵𝗃𝗲, 𝗔𝗂𝘁. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, 𝗔𝗂𝘁. 𝗖𝗎𝘅, calm down, it's not a ghost. Right, Ben? Ghost freak, that's right. The one and only. 𝗔𝗂𝘁 thought that you would have a plan to take on forearms, so that's why decided to use a alien you haven't seen before. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, scared 𝗔𝗂𝘁, get away. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, who was scarred out of his mind with tears in his eyes, start to throw the ball on top of his head at Ghost Freak, hoping it would hit him, but they just simply go through Ghost Freak. Ghost Freak, weren't you listening? Ghost Freak can go through anything, it's useless. 𝗖𝗎𝘅, well, I'm not giving up that easily. Ghost Freak, listen, there is so much more this alien can do that even scares me personally, and if possible I don't want to do it to you guys. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, trust me, I would listen to him if I were you. Ghost Freak then puts both of his hands on the black crack on his chest and was getting ready to open it at any time. 𝗖𝗎𝘅 and 𝗵𝗃𝗲 felt chills down their spines as they were completely filled with fear. Ghost Freak hasn't done anything yet, but the two felt an immense aura from him. The two then fell on their knees while their bodies were trembling in fear. 𝗖𝗎𝘅 and 𝗵𝗃𝗲, in fear we surrender all might, 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃 hero team wins. Present mic, alien name, Ghost Freak. A ghost-like alien that can do anything a ghost can do. Phasing through objects, flight, levitation, intangibility, invisibility, and body possession. Underneath his skin is something terrifying. When Ben transforms into Ghost Freak, he is even weirded out by him. Time skip. After all the training exercise were finished, All Might congratulates everyone for a job well done and for not suffering any major damage injuries except for 𝗵𝗃𝗍. He tells the class to change out of their classroom, then leaves as if he was in a hurry. School was now over as the sky was orange and currently Ben's classmates were surrounding him. 𝗘𝗁𝗍, your match was amazing. but I kind of wanted to see a more manly alien. 𝗕𝗏𝗁, can you turn into a cute alien? 𝗵𝗃𝗲, can you turn into that ghost guy and make me invisible so I can go to the girls' locker room? 𝗵𝗃𝗲s, sorry, can you guys back up a little, I need a little space. They do as Ben say and give him a little room. Ben, thanks. Why you guys so interested in me? 𝗧𝗏𝗁, are you kidding? Ever since that day when that blogger revealed about you and the Omnitrix, the whole world became interested in you. Kirishima, yeah, a guy with a device that can turn him into aliens, who wouldn't be interested? Ben, well, I can't argue with that. 𝗧𝗏𝗁, so how does it work? Ben, well, shows everyone the Omnitrix when I press this button the faceplate comes up and then I choose a alien by turning the dial, and then I slam down then boom, I'm a alien. Kirishima, it's that simple. 𝗕𝗏𝗁, flailing arms in excitement, how many can you turn into? Can you show us all of them? Ben, well, at first I started off with 10, but as years went by I discovered there were more aliens in the watch. Right now I have 17 aliens. I would show them, but whenever I turn into one I have to wait until I time out. 𝗕𝗏𝗁, time out. Ben, yeah, the Omnitrix has a limiter. I can only stay an alien for roughly about 15 minutes, and then when I time out I have to wait for the watch to recharge before I can use it again. Kirishima, that's how it works. I thought you were able to change into one anytime. 𝗧𝗏𝗁, yeah, me too. But it's still cool that you can still turn into them. Ben chuckles, thanks. They then hear the door open as it reveal Midoriya still in his damaged hero suit with an arm cast. Kirishima, oh, Midoriya's here. Good work, Midoriya. Kirishima, man, I don't know what you were saying during the match, but you were fired up. 𝗧𝗏𝗁, I can't believe you fought evenly with Bakugo, who was first in the entrance exam. 𝗕𝗏𝗁, you did a good job dodging. Ben, you guys did that in the first match, so the rest of us had to give it our all too. Aoyama, you were far from elegant, but 𝗕𝗏𝗁, jumping, you did a good job dodging. Midoriya, 𝗕𝗏𝗁. Kirishima, Amijiro Kirishima. We were all going over the training together right now, before we got kind of distracted by asking Ben questions. 𝗧𝗏𝗁, I'm Hanta 𝗧𝗏. Aoyama, I'm Yuga Aoya 𝗕𝗏𝗁, I'm Mina 𝗕𝗏𝗁. You did a good job dodging. 𝗬𝗎, I'm 𝗬𝗎 𝗎𝗎𝗓. Call me Ben, I'm Ben Tennyson. Thanks for coming, these guys were harassing me with questions. Midoriya, 𝗓𝗏𝗄, jumping in on 𝗓𝗏. Kirishima, where the heck did you pop out from? Ben, you did terrible in the training. Tokoyami, sitting on desk, you're too loud. Iida, marching to Tokoyami. That desk is not a chair. Get off immediately. Jiro, it's not a big deal, is it? Iida, WH. Ojiro, what's with those hands, anyways? Iida, you people, I cannot condone actions that disrespect the desks the great men and women who are our upperclassmen once used. Tokoyami, you're too loud. The sound of a door that was at the back of the classroom opens and reveals Kaminari and Uraraka holding what seems to be textbooks walking in. Kaminari, hey, Uraraka, wanna grab a bite to eat sometime? What do you like? Uraraka, Machi notices Midoriya and rushes to him. Wait, Deku, she didn't heal your injuries. Midoriya, oh, it's because of how much stamina I have, and, Uraraka, more importantly, where's Kakin? Uraraka, we all tried to stop him, but he went home just now without saying anything. Midoriya then rushes out the classroom, seemingly trying to catch up to Bakugo. Uraraka has a worried expression as he watches Midoriya run. Ben then puts a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Ben smiles, I'm sure everything will be fine. Uraraka, I hope so. Currently at the U High School's entrance, ton of reporters were asking students about All Might. Ben was walking peacefully until ton of reporters surround him and start to ask him questions. Female reporter, will you tell us about how classes with All Might are? And how he is like as a teacher? Ben, sorry, I have to get to class, the bell is about to ring. Female reporter, please, just a few questions, and notices Omnitrix. Wait a minute, you're Ben Tennyson, the boy that can turn into aliens. Has All Might thought about taking you under his wing? Have you unlocked new aliens recently? The reporters then start to get closer as they were now literally suffocating Ben. Ben, suffocating. Wait, I can't breathe. Male reporter, have you done a training exercise with all might? 4 arms or humongous or stronger than all might? Ben, gotta get out of here reaches for Omnitrix going hero. Before Ben can even activate the Omnitrix, his body was wrapped with some sort of cloth and was pulled out of the group of reporters. He then falls on the ground and then looks up to see his savior. Aizawa, don't use that thing here. Now hurry up and get to the classroom. Ben salutes. Why yes sir. With that said, Ben hurries to the classroom. In classroom 1A, everyone was sitting at their desk as homeroom was about to begin. Aizawa was currently going over things that needed to be done. Aizawa, now let's get down to business. Sorry about the late notice, but today, I'll have you everyone take another special test. Aizawa, decide on a class representative. Everyone, feeling at ease, it's actually a normal school activity. Kirishima stands up raising his hands. I want to be class rep. Pick me. Kaminari, me too. Jiro, raising hand. I want to do it too. Aoyama, it's a job made for Emishido. Cutting off Aoyama, I'll be the leader. As everyone was still raising their hand and asked to be picked, Uraraka notices that Y/N was sitting silently with his hands behind his head. Uraraka, what's wrong Ben? Don't you want to be the class representative? Ben, nah, too much work. Plus it sounds boring. While everyone were still debating who should be the class representative, Ida suddenly speaks up. Ida, silence please. It's a job with the serious responsibility of leading others. It's not a job for just anyone who wants it. It's a calling that requires the trust of those around you. If we want to use democracy to decide a true leader, then we should hold an election. Everyone, your hand is raised the highest. Everyone, your hand is raised the highest. Kaminari, why did you suggest that? Tsuyu, we haven't known each other for that long, so how can we trust or anything? Kirishima, if that's the case, and everyone votes for themselves, Ida, don't you think that's precisely why whoever receives multiple votes here can be truly considered the most suitable person? What do you think, Mr. Aizawa? Aizawa gets in sleeping bag and lays down. I don't care, as long as you decide before homeroom is over. Ida, thank you very much. After everyone agreed to have a vote for the class representative, everyone's vote was all counted. The one with the most votes was Midoriya with 3 votes and Ben with 2 votes. Midoriya, I got 3 votes. Bakugo stands up. Why Deku? Who voted for him? Zero, well, it's better than voting for you. Ben, how did I get 2 votes? I didn't even vote at all. The 2 were now in front of the classroom. Midoriya was shaking and still couldn't believe he got 3 votes while Ben was sighing and was wondering who in the world voted for him. Aizawa, then the class rep is Midoriya, and the deputy class rep will be Ben. Midoriya, shaking SS seriously. Seriously. Ben, sighing. Man Tsuyu, that might not be too bad. Kirishima, after all's said and done, Midoriya can be pretty fired up, anyway. Kaminari, and Ben was really cool during his training exercise. The scene cuts to the cafeteria as it was now lunchtime. Ben was currently eating lunch with Jiro and Yaoyorozu. Jiro was sitting next to Ben while Yaoyorozu was sitting across from him. Ben was slouching in his seat as he was still feeling down about being picked as the position of deputy class rep. Ben, I can't believe it. How can this happen? I didn't even vote for myself. Who in the world would vote for me? Jiro, I don't know about the other, but I know the other person who voted for you. Ben, you do. Jiro smirks me. Ben, wait. Why did you vote for me? Jiro, I overheard you telling Uraraka that being class rep was too much work, and I thought it would teach you some responsibility if you became class rep. Jiro, I overheard you telling Uraraka that being class rep was too much work, and I thought it would teach you some responsibility if you became class rep. Plus I wanted to see your priceless reaction, which was hilarious. Chuckles. A dark aura then surrounds Ben. Ben, activating Omnitrix. Oh yeah, if you think my reaction was hilarious, I think you'll find your reaction is funny when there's stink fly goo in your hair, dweeb. Yaoyorozu, now you too. It's already been decided, so there's no use fighting about it. Ben sighs as he pulls his hand away from the Omnitrix. Ben, I guess you're right. Well, now we know one person who voted for me. I wonder who's the other person. Jiro, I'm as curious as you. Yaoyorozu, the other person would be me. Ben. Yaoyorozu, I'm the other person who voted for you. 𝗵𝗔𝗂𝗁, what? 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝗀, is something wrong? 𝗔𝗂, you voted for 𝗵. 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝗀, yes. 𝗔𝗂, pointing at 𝗵, this guy. The person next to me. 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝗀, yes, the person next to you. 𝗔𝗂, why did you vote for 𝗵? 𝗵, yeah, why did you vote for me? You seemed like you wanted to be the class rep. 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝗀, I just thought you would be perfect for the part. You are smart, strong, and far way more skilled than I am. 𝗔𝗂, we're still talking about the same 𝗵, right? 𝗵𝗃. 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝘁, when we faced each other the other day, you were 2 steps ahead of me. I was confident that you would choose some type of alien with enhanced strength and come bursting through the door, but you took a different approach. Sadly, not only were you able to get 𝗔𝗂 in the room with you undetected, but I couldn't even move a single finger to go up against you, so that is why I voted for you, because I believe you are strong and has what it takes to be a leader. 𝗵, 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝘁, before 𝗵 could finish his sentence, our alarm suddenly goes off, startling the students while a female voice is heard from the speakers. Alarm, there has been a level 3 security breach. All students please evacuate outdoors promptly. 𝗵, level 3 security. 𝗔𝗂, what's that? 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝘁, I'm not sure, but we should do as the alarm says. The 3 then got up from their seats and then start to evacuate the building, but as they were trying to head out, they were then trapped in the hallway with students panicking and trying to get through. Male student, hey, don't push. Female student, wait, I'm falling. Male student, I said, don't push. As the students were panicking, the 3 were being squished and being pushed around by other students. 𝗔𝗂, what's going on? 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝘁, everyone is just panicking and trying to get out. 𝗵, even so, they're panicking way too much. Someone needs to calm them down, and when I mean someone, I mean Stinkfly. Activating Omnitrix, I'll be able to fly up, and 𝗵 was then cut off by someone's elbow as it hits him in the face. He then gets squished by other students, making him unable to reach the Omnitrix. 𝗵 out. You're squishing me. Trying to reach for Omnitrix, if I can only just reach it. Suddenly, he then hears a loud thud and hears a familiar voice. Suddenly, he then hears a loud thud and hears a familiar voice. 𝗳𝗑. Everyone, everything is fine. 𝗳𝗑. It's just the media. There is nothing to panic about. Everything's fine. This is you. Let us act in a way befitting the best of the best. Everyone then starts to calm down, freeing 𝗵, 𝗔𝗂, and 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝘁 from the suffocation. After the whole trespassing incident, everyone was now back in class. Currently, 𝗵𝗃 was standing in front of the whole class nervously, while 𝗵 was standing next to him with his hands in his pockets with a bored expression. 𝗵𝗃, and now let us decide on the other class officers, but first, can I say something? I think that 𝗕𝗫𝗁 should be the class rep after all. He was able to get everyone's attention in such a cool way. I think it would be best for 𝗳𝗁 to do it. Kaminari, I'm good with that too. Kirishima, 𝗵𝗃 saying it, and it's true that 𝗳𝗁 was being a big help at the cafeteria today. Kaminari, yeah, and he kind of looked like the person on the emergency exit signs, didn't he? 𝗵, wait, you can switch jobs with other people. Then, I think 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝘁 should be the deputy class rep. 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝘁? 𝗵, I'm sure she's way better than me with this kind of stuff. 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝘁, but that wouldn't be fair for the voting. 𝗵, if I remember correctly, I didn't vote at all. So, I vote for 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝘁. That means we're tied. Smiles, I withdraw. Everyone, can he do that? Aizawa, you're wasting time. I don't care what you do, just hurry up and do it. 𝗳𝗁 stands up. If the class rep has nominated me, then it cannot be helped. From this day forth, I, 𝗕𝗫𝗁, promise to do my best to carry out the duties of class representative. 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝘁, if 𝗵 insists of me being deputy, I too promise that I will do my best as deputy class rep and its duties. With that said, the new class rep was 𝗕𝗫𝗁, and the new deputy class rep was Momo 𝗬𝗓𝘅𝘁. It was the next day and everyone was in class. It was time for the hero basic training class, but Aizawa had an announcement first. Aizawa, for today's hero basic training, it's turned into a class with 3 instructors, All Might and me, and 1 person. Zero, raising hand. Excuse me. What'll we be doing? Aizawa, disasters, shipwreck, and everything in between. Aizawa, disasters, shipwreck, and everything in between. It's rescue training. 𝗵𝗃. Rescue looks like it'll be a lot of work this time, too. 𝗕𝗫𝗍𝗃, right? Qing idiot, this is the duty of a hero. My arms are ready to rumble. 𝗬𝗓, no one can beat me in water, 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗲. 𝗧𝗏𝗂, hey, I'm not done. You can decide if you want to wear your costume or not this time. Because there are probably costumes that limit your abilities too. The training will take place off campus, so we're taking a bus. That is all. Start getting ready. Everyone then got up, got dressed in their costumes and headed to the front of the school where the bus was. 𝗳𝗧𝗏 then stated to blow a whistle to get everyone's attention. 𝗳𝗧𝗏, Class 1A, gather round. Form 2 lines by your student numbers in order to make boarding the bus go smoothly. After boarding the bus, 𝗳𝗧𝗏 came to find out that this wasn't a normal bus with normal seats and his seating order wouldn't work. Currently, Ben was sitting next to 𝗵𝗃𝗲 fidgeting his omnitrix out of boredom. 𝗳𝗧𝗏, shoot. I didn't think it'd be this type of bus. 𝗕𝗫𝗍𝗃, there was no point. 𝗬𝗓, I say whatever comes to mind. 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗵𝗃𝗲, yes, 𝗬𝗧𝗏. 𝗬𝗓, call me 𝗬. 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗃, nervous are right 𝗬𝗓, your quirk is like All Might's. 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗃, why you think so? But I'm a Qing. Wait a sec, 𝗬𝗓, All Might doesn't get hurt when he uses his. They just kind of look the same. But it's nice to have a simple augmenting type quirk. You can do lots of flashy stuff. Activates quirk my hardening strong against others, but unfortunately it doesn't look like much. 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗃, I think it's really cool. It's a quirk that can definitely pass as a pros. Qing, a pros, but you have to think about popularity as a hero too, you know. 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗏, my naval laser is pro level in both flashiness and strength. 𝗕𝗫𝗍𝗃, but it's not great that it gives you a stomachache. Qing, well, if you're talking about flashy and strong, it's gotta be Todoroki, Bakugo, and Ben, though. To 𝗬𝗓𝗃, Bakugo's always mad, so he doesn't seem like he'll be popular, though. Bakugo stands up angrily, what the hell? You wanna fight? 𝗬𝗓 points at Bakugo. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, we haven't known each other that long, so it's amazing that everyone already knows his personality is CRP steeped in sewage. Bakugo, what's with that vocabulary, 𝗬𝗪𝗏? I'll kill you. 𝗧𝗏𝗂, we're here. Stop messing around. Everyone, yes sir. After arriving at their destination, they were met with the pro hero 13 who was waiting for them. After arriving at their destination, they were met with the pro hero 13 who was waiting for them 13. Everyone, I have been waiting for you. 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗃, it's the space hero 13. The gentlemanly hero who has rescued tons of people from disasters. 𝗎𝗏𝗏𝗃, oh, I love 13. 13, let's go inside without delay. Everyone, look forward to working with you. Everyone then walked inside and saw all the different environments. Qing, wow, it looks like Universal Studios Japan. Qing, wow, it looks like Universal Studios Japan. 13, a shipwreck 13, a landside 13, a landside 13, a landside 13, a fire 13, a windstorm 13, a windstorm 13, etc. It's all a training ground that I made with different types of accidents and disasters 13, etc. It's all a training ground that I made with different types of accidents and disasters. 13, etc. It's all a training ground that I made with different types of accidents and disasters 13. It's called the Unforeseen Situations Joint, or USJ, for short. Everyone, it really is USJ. 𝗧𝗏𝗂 looked around and saw that All Might wasn't around. 𝗧𝗏𝗂, 13, where's All Might? He was supposed to meet us here. 13, whispering about that it looks like he did too much hero work on his way to work and ran out of time, so he's resting in the lounge. 𝗧𝗏𝗂, that's the height of irrationality. Thinks for a moment it can't be helped. Shall we begin? 13, let's see. Before we begin, let me say one thing or two, or 3 or 4 5 6 7 everyone. It's increasing. 13, everyone, I'm sure you are aware of my quirk, Black Hole. I can SCK up anything and turn it to dust. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃, you've been able to use that quirk to save people from all kinds of disasters, right? 13, Yes, but it is a power that can kill easily. Some of you also have quirks like that too, right? In a superhuman society, personal quirks have been certified and stringently regulated, so that doesn't seem to be a problem at first glance. However, please do not forget that there are many quirks that can easily kill with one wrong step. With 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗆's physical fitness test, you found out about the possibility of your own hidden powers, and with 𝗕𝗏𝗍𝗄𝗧 person-to-person combat training, I think you experienced the danger of using those powers against others. This class is a fresh start. You shall learn how to use your quirks to save people's lives. You do not have powers so you can harm others. I hope you leave here with the understanding that you have powers in order to help others. This is all, thanks you for listening. As everyone begins to cheer from 13th speech, all the lights start to flicker and suddenly, in the distance, near the fountain, a purple-like portal appeared and someone's hand came out of it. As everyone begins to cheer from 13th speech, all the lights start to flicker and suddenly, in the distance, near the fountain, a purple-like portal appeared and someone's hand came out of it. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏, gather together and don't move. 13. Protect the students. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗵𝗃, what's that? Plus suddenly, even more people start to walk through the portal. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗵𝗃, is this like the entrance exam where the lessons already started? 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗵𝗃, is this like the entrance exam where the lessons already started? 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏, don't move. Puts goggles on, those are villains. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗵𝗃, what? Villains? No way, there's no way they could get into a hero school. 𝗳𝗪𝗎𝗧𝗂, teacher, what about the trespasser sensors? 13. We have them of course, but 𝗕𝗏𝗁𝗍𝗄𝗃, did they only appear here or around the whole school? Either way, if the sensors are not responding, that means they have someone with a quirk that can do that. An isolated area separated from the main campus during a time when a class is supposed to be here. They might be fools, but they're not dumb. This surprise attack was carefully planned with some sort of goal in mind. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏, 13, start the evacuation. Try calling the school. These villains even had something to counteract the sensors. It's possible someone with a radio wave type power is interfering. 𝗵𝗃𝗏, you try contacting the school with your quirk? 2. 𝗵𝗃𝗏, yes sir. 𝗵𝘃𝗏𝗧𝗏, what about you sir? Will you fight by yourself? With that many, even if you can erase their quirks, Eraserhead's fighting style is capturing after erasing the enemy's quirk. A frontal battle is 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏, you can't be a hero with just one trick. I'm leaving them to you, 13. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏 then jumped down and started to take on the villains as 𝗵𝘃𝗏𝗏 watched completely amazed. 𝗵𝘃𝗏𝗏, wow, Mr. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏 is actually good at fighting by himself against a lot of people. Ben, hey 𝗵𝘃𝗏𝗏. Stop analyzing and let's go. As Class 1A continued to make their way to the entrance, a purple mist appeared and then 2 yellow eyes appeared. As Class 1A continued to make their way to the entrance, a purple mist appeared and then 2 yellow eyes appeared. Purple mist, I won't let you. Nice to meet you. We are the League of Villains. It may be presumptuous of us, but we have invited ourselves into the home of the heroes, a high school, in order to have All Might, the symbol of peace, take his last breath. I believe All Might should have been here. Has there been some kind of change? Well, that is neither here nor there. This is the Part 1 play. 13 went to use her quirk, but Bakugo and Kirishima both jumped up to attack the purple mist, surprising everyone. 13 went to use her quirk, but Bakugo and Kirishima both jumped up to attack the purple mist, surprising everyone. They both hit the villain and caused a massive explosion, and the two stood together. Kirishima, did you consider that you'd get beaten by us before you did it? Purple mist, oh dear, that's dangerous. That's right. Even if you are excellent golden eggs. Move away you two. Purple mist, my job is to scatter you all and torture you to death. Purple mist, my job is to scatter you all and torture you to death. The warp villain then started to cover everyone with his mist. Suddenly at the mountain zone a purple mist starts to form, and from it out comes Ben, Jiro, Yaoyorozu, and Kaminari falling to the ground. Ben, how they all stand up and look around to see where they were. Yaoyorozu, it seems that we were warped here by that villain. It must be his quirk. Kaminari, what in the world is going on? Why are there villains here? Jiro, why don't you ask them? Suddenly villains come out of nowhere and now we're surrounding the four. Ben, You got to be kidding me, 𝗬𝗪𝗧𝗍. One thing is for sure. We have to fight them and defeat them if we want to live. 𝗬𝗪𝗧𝗍 then creates a metal staff with her quirk from her arm, as she also creates a sword from her leg which 𝗬𝗪 takes and takes a fighting stance. 𝗵𝗃 only looks around to see villains surrounding them from every direction while Ben puts his hand near the Omnitrix. Villain 1. Get him. The villains then charge at the 4 students as they get ready to fight. Ben quickly activates his Omnitrix and looks for the right alien for this situation. 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗍𝗀 can easily take these guys out. But as Ben was dialing 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗍𝗀, a villain was right in front of him and cocks his fist back. Ben quickly notices and dodges the villain's attack, and takes a few steps back. Villain 2. Come back here, brat. As Ben tries to activate the Omnitrix, once more he was interrupted again by another villain coming up from behind him. Ben? Come on, seriously. As Ben was dodging the villain's attack, 𝗵𝗃 was also under attack by a large villain and ducks and avoids his attack. As Ben was dodging the villain's attack, 𝗵𝗃 was also under attack by a large villain and ducks and avoids his attack. 𝗵𝗃, running away scary. Seriously, did you see that just now? I saw the river Styx, seriously. What the heck is up with these guys? What's going on? 𝗵𝗃 then runs up to 𝗔𝗪 and 𝗬𝗪𝗧𝗍 who was fighting off other villains with their weapons. 𝗔𝗪, worry about that later. 𝗬𝗪𝗧𝗍, right now we need to figure out how we'll get away from all these people. We can use an alien right now. Ben, dodging villains I'm trying, but they keep getting in my way. A villain with a stretching quirk from afar grabs a large boulder then lifts it up above of Ben without him noticing. He then brings the boulder down with all his might as it speeds down towards Ben. Villain 3, gotcha. Ben looks up and sees 𝗕𝗪𝗧𝗍. The boulder then slams down onto Ben. 𝗵𝗃, no way he crushed him with that boulder. Villain 3, 1 down and 3 to go. Smirks time to rip you kids apart. The villains start to rush towards 𝗔𝗪, 𝗬𝗪𝗧𝗍, and 𝗵𝗃, but they were stopped by a rumbling noise. They all look over to the boulder that crushed Ben and sees that it was shaking and was slowly rising up. They then see a large figure who was slowly lifting the boulder. The large figure had orange fur, 2 razor-sharp claws, and looked like a tiger. The large figure finally was holding the giant boulder above its head and reveals its full figure. Wrath. Let me tell you something, bunch of villains that came out of nowhere and trying to kill us. No one is ripping anyone apart except for Wrath. Wrath. Let me tell you something, bunch of villains that came out of nowhere and trying to kill us. No one is ripping anyone apart except for Wrath. Villain 4, what the hell is that thing? Villain 5. Who cares, just attack it. A villain with gun barrels on every fingertips on his hands takes aim then fires multiple rounds at the tempered alien. As the shots hit Wrath it had no effect, not even a scratch, making the villain's jaw drop and couldn't believe what just happened. Wrath, that's your first mistake. When you shoot Wrath, you just make Wrath mad. Roars 𝗔𝗪, Ben. Wrath turns to 𝗔𝗪, what? 𝗔𝗪, less talking and more punching people. Wrath, let me tell you something, 𝗘𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗪. Nobody tells Wrath what to do. 𝗔𝗪, I don't care. Just hurry up and take care of them. 𝗔𝗪 was then interrupted by a villain's attack as she blocks it with her sword. Wrath, that was harsh, now turns to villains, where were we? Villain 4, we were at the part where we put you down. A bunch of villains then start to rush towards Wrath. Wrath growls then throws the boulder he was holding at the villains as it hits a couple of them. The other villains look back at the boulder to see their comrades knocked down, but as they look back at where the alien was, they see Wrath running towards them getting ready to attack. Wrath jumps up and cocks his arm back getting ready to attack the villain underneath him, but he was then tackled by a larger villain, sending him back to the ground. But Wrath recovers his stance with a series of slips. More villains then start to approach Wrath, ready to attack. More villains then start to approach Wrath, ready to attack. Wrath getting more irritated charges at the villains with full speed and then gives each villain his special moves. Wrath getting more irritated charges at the villains with full speed and then gives each villain his special moves A/N. Imagine the ants as villains. Wrath, Cosmic Drop. Wrath, Incursion Ambassador. Wrath, 𝗕𝗁𝗏𝗵𝗏 𝗧𝗜𝗵𝗏𝗏 Wrath, serious but kicking. Villains 5, he's taking us down easily. How strong is this thing? As Wrath finishes his special attacks, a big sheet that came out of 𝗖𝗎𝗎𝗀𝗧's back caught his eye. He then sees Kaminari smirk and raises both of his arms that were covered in electricity. Kaminari, in that case I can be really strong. Kaminari sends out electricity all over, shocking all the villains, and also including Wrath. Kaminari sends out electricity all over, shocking all the villains and also including Wrath. All the villains, all injured, fall to the ground, unable to fight. 𝗖𝗎𝗎𝗀𝗧 lifts the sheet she was under with 𝗕𝗫 and looks at the aftermath. 𝗖𝗎𝗎𝗀𝗧 lifts the sheet she was under with 𝗕𝗫 and looks at the aftermath. 𝗖𝗎𝗎𝗀𝗧, now then, I am worried about the others. Let us join them quickly. 𝗕𝗫, wait, your clothes got super punk. 𝗖𝗎𝗎𝗀𝗧 turns to 𝗕𝗫, I can make them again. 𝗕𝗫, looking at 𝗖𝗎𝗎𝗀𝗧's two features violent growth. 𝗕𝗫 looks behind 𝗖𝗎𝗎𝗀𝗧 and realizes that Kaminari was with them. She then quickly covers 𝗖𝗎𝗎𝗀𝗧, so Kaminari doesn't see her two features. 𝗕𝗫, Kaminari, don't look this way. They both then see Kaminari walking around giving two thumbs up and acting not himself. 𝗖𝗎𝗎𝗀𝗧, who made new clothes for herself, comes out from the sheet with 𝗕𝗫 and checks on Kaminari. Suddenly they hear a certain someone, or rather alien, running towards them, grabbing Kaminari by the shirt and lifting him with ease and shaking him with anger. Wrath, let me tell you something, Denki Kaminari. No one electrifies Wrath and gets away with it. 𝗕𝗫, put him down, Ben. Wrath, why should I? He shocked me. 𝗕𝗫, don't be such a baby, you're fine. Wrath, let's go, and drops Kaminari. I am not a baby. 𝗖𝗎𝗎𝗀𝗧, to 𝗕𝗫, why is Ben so loud and aggressive? 𝗕𝗫, it's because he transformed into this alien. Size 𝗖𝗎𝗎𝗀𝗧, meet Wrath. Present mic. Alien name, Wrath. This alien posse's enhanced strength and agility, making him able to jump great distances and lift objects heavier than himself. However, this alien has a short temper, making him needlessly argue with everyone around. Present mic. Alien name, Wrath. This alien posse's enhanced strength and agility, making him able to jump great distances and lift objects heavier than himself. However, this alien has a short temper, making him needlessly argue with everyone around him, so don't make him angry if possible. 𝗕𝗫, when he turns into this alien, he's powerful, argumentative, and extremely aggressive. Wrath believes he can solve any problem by hitting it. Wrath, to 𝗕𝗫, not true. Sometimes you have to hit things a lot. 𝗖𝗎𝗎𝗀𝗧, a 𝗕𝗫, and he's not too bright either. Wrath growls, whatever. I got better things to do. Walks away. 𝗕𝗫, where do you think you're going? Wrath stops and turns to 𝗕𝗫, where do you think? I'm going back to that big villain and warp guy and kick their butts. 𝗕𝗫, did Kaminari just fry your brains, or are you just this normally stupid dweeb? 𝗖𝗎𝗎𝗀𝗧, I don't think that's a good idea, Ben. How are you going to beat that warp gate villain? It's not smart. I'm sure they will take you down easily. Wrath, let me tell you something, Momo 𝗖𝗎𝗎𝗀𝗧. Don't you know who I am? I am the cat who's all that. The Wrath attack. And nobody beats Wrath. With that said, Wrath runs off on all fours, leaving the three students. Come back here. Currently, with Midoriya, Tsuyu, and Mineta, they were all hiding in the water as they watched the large purple villain on top of Aizawa and breaking his arm easily like a twig, while the villain with a bunch of hands on him was watching. Hand villain, you can erase quirks. That's wonderful, but it's nothing impressive. In the face of overwhelming power, you might as well be quirkless. Aizawa then looks back at the villain on top of him and attempts to erase its quirk, but the villain responds by crushing Aizawa's other arm with no difficulties. The villain then grabs Aizawa's head, lifts it up, then slams his face on the ground, creating a small crater. Mineta, covering his mouth, and Midoriya, I can't take it anymore. I'm sure you must be having second thoughts, right? Tsuyu, Karo. Suddenly the purple mist villain warps next to the hand villain. Mist villain, Tamura Shigaraki. Shigaraki, Kurogyri, did you kill 13? Kurogyri, I put 13 out of action, but there were students that I was unable to disperse, and one of them was able to run away. Shigaraki, angry huh? begins to scratch neck 𝗘𝗁𝗁𝗧𝗏, you if you weren't a warp gate, I would have crushed you to pieces. Stop scratching, we can't win against dozens of pros. It's game over. Man, it's game over this time. Let's go home. Back with the 3 students in the water, they heard that the villains were going home. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, they're going home. Did he say they're going home? 𝗧𝗜𝗍, that's what I heard. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, who was overjoyed, hugs 𝗧𝗜𝗍. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, all right. We're saved. 𝗧𝗜𝗍, yes, but 𝗧𝗜𝗍, I have a bad feeling about this. 𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗍, 𝗧𝗜𝗍, I have a bad feeling about this. 𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏? 𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏, yeah. For them to simply retreat after doing all this 𝗧𝗑𝗁𝗁𝗧𝗏? Oh yeah. Before we leave, let's smash some of his pride as the symbol of peace. He then dashes at the 3 students and extends his hand at 𝗧𝗜𝗍. Everything was in slow motion. 𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏 looks at the villain's extended hand as it grows closer and closer to 𝗧𝗜𝗍's face, as he also remembers what will happen if 𝗧𝗑𝗁𝗁𝗧𝗏's hand comes in contact with people. Everything was in slow motion. 𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏 looks at the villain's extended hand as it grows closer and closer to 𝗧𝗜𝗍's face, as he also remembers what will happen if 𝗧𝗑𝗁𝗁𝗧𝗏's hand comes in contact with people. 𝗧𝗑𝗁𝗁𝗧𝗏's hand finally comes in contact with 𝗧𝗜𝗍, but nothing happens. 𝗧𝗑𝗁𝗁𝗧𝗏, 𝗕𝗏. You really are cool, you really are cool. 𝗧𝗑𝗁𝗁𝗧𝗏, erase her head. The large villain lifts 𝗧𝗏𝗧's head once more and then slams onto the ground. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, without a second thought, jumps out of the water ready to attack. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, let go of her. Smash. The smoke begins to clear, and as it does, 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 notices that his arm wasn't broken, but what he saw next shocked him. The smoke begins to clear, and as it does, 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 notices that his arm wasn't broken, but what he saw next shocked him. He saw the large brain villain in front of him and seemed to have taken the attack. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 also notices that the punch had no effect at all. 𝗧𝗑𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗧𝗏, you move well. You're a smash. Are you a follower of all mights? Oh well, I'm done with you. The large villain grabs 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏's arm and starts to reach for him with its other arm, while 𝗧𝗑𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗧𝗏 reaches out his hands to 𝗧𝗜𝗍 and 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗏. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, with the look of fear on his face, closes his eyes and was preparing for the worst. But suddenly, someone comes in running and drop kicks the large villain, causing it to let go of 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 and send him back into 𝗧𝗑𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗧𝗏 as the 2 villains were sent back a couple of feet. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 opens his eyes slowly and looks to see his savior. 𝗓𝗏, let me tell you something, big villain with its brains sticking out. You're not hurting anyone while 𝗓𝗏 is on the job. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, is that you? 𝗓𝗏, of course it's me, who do you think it was? 𝗧𝗑𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗧𝗏 gets back up, irritated one after another. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, thanks for the save, Ben. We need to get away from here fast. Can you grab Mr. 𝗧𝗏 and 𝗓𝗏? Let me tell you something, 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏. 𝗓𝗏 ain't gonna run away. I'm taking that big villain down. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, what? No, you can't. It took one of my hits and it didn't phase it at all. We need to 𝗓𝗏. I'm done listening. 𝗓𝗏 then runs at the large villain with no fear and gets ready to fight. 𝗧𝗑𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗧𝗏, 𝗵𝗃. The large villain that was named 𝗵𝗃 starts to rush at 𝗓𝗏, obeying its MSDR's orders. 𝗓𝗏 was now face to face with 𝗵𝗃. He quickly gives 𝗵𝗃 a right hook, hitting its face but was ineffective. 𝗵𝗃 then gives 𝗓𝗏 an uppercut, sending him back, but 𝗓𝗏 does a flip and lands on his feet as he uses his claws to stab the ground to stop himself from the force of the punch. 𝗓𝗏 growls and charges at 𝗵𝗃 once more, only this time he jumps onto 𝗵𝗃, grabbing its head on both sides, then starts to headbutt 𝗵𝗃 multiple times. 𝗓𝗏 growls and charges at 𝗵𝗃 once more, only this time he jumps onto 𝗵𝗃, grabbing its head on both sides, then starts to headbutt 𝗵𝗃 multiple times. 𝗕𝗏 suddenly hugs 𝗓𝗏. None of that mushy stuff when we're fighting. 𝗵𝗃 then starts to squeeze 𝗓𝗏 with all its strength. 𝗓𝗏 repeatedly punches 𝗵𝗃 in the face, but with each punch 𝗵𝗃 increases its strength as something in 𝗓𝗏's body snaps. 𝗓𝗏, in pain, as 𝗓𝗏 dropped his guard from the pain, 𝗵𝗃 took this opportunity and threw 𝗓𝗏 in the air. 𝗓𝗏 falls back down, but before he reaches the ground, 𝗵𝗃 grabs his face and then slams him to the ground, creating a crater. Before 𝗓𝗏 can even catch his breath, 𝗵𝗃 grabs his leg and repeatedly slams him up and down to the ground. 𝗵𝗃 then throws 𝗓𝗏 in the air once more, but even higher. 𝗵𝗃 then jumps up to 𝗓𝗏, puts both of its hands together and slams it down on 𝗓𝗏's chest, sending him crashing down on the ground, creating a large crater. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏. 𝗧𝗜𝗍, oh no. 𝗕𝗵𝗲 now back on the ground walks towards 𝗵𝗃. As the large villain was approaching 𝗵𝗃, the Omnitrix starts to beep and flash red. A red light emits from 𝗵𝗃, and as it dims down it reveals Ben back in his human form, still on the ground in pain. Ben, 𝗬𝗃 was one of my toughest aliens, but this villain took him down easily, and not only that, this villain is strong, too strong. It was able to break my ribs while I was 𝗵𝗃. 𝗕𝗵𝗲 was now in front of Ben and reaching for him, but suddenly, a loud crash can be heard from the entrance and everyone stopped to look and see what it was, and from the smoke of dust, a figure could be seen walking through it, and everyone was completely shocked and relieved to see it was 𝗕𝗏, who was furious. 𝗕𝗵𝗲 was now in front of Ben and reaching for him, but suddenly, a loud crash can be heard from the entrance and everyone stopped to look and see what it was, and from the smoke of dust, a figure could be seen walking through it, and everyone was see 𝗕𝗏. It's fine now. I'm here. 𝗵𝗃, 𝗕𝗏. 𝗬𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗵, 𝗕𝗏 Ben. Thank God. 𝗕𝗏 throws away his jacket while 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗁 was looking up at the symbol of peace. 𝗕𝗏 throws away his jacket while 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗁 was looking up at the symbol of peace 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗁. Oh, we're getting a continue. Everyone continued to look at 𝗕𝗏 standing on top of the entrance, looking completely furious. 𝗕𝗏, I had a bad feeling, so I tore myself away from my chat with the principal and came. I passed young Ida on my way and got a rough idea what had happened. Grits teeth, good grief, it really makes me angry. Thinking about how frightening it must have been for the children and how hard my juniors fought, but this is why I must proudly say it's fine now. To 𝗕𝗏, I am here. Ben, who was still on the ground, looks up at 𝗕𝗏 as he was relieved that he was here. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗁 then looks towards the symbol of peace. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗁, I've been waiting, hero. You trash of society. The villains below all looked up at 𝗕𝗏, and before any of them could react, 𝗕𝗏 quickly took them out and grabbed 𝗧𝗏. The villains below all looked up at 𝗕𝗏, and before any of them could react, 𝗕𝗏 quickly took them out and grabbed 𝗧𝗏. 𝗧𝗏. 𝗕𝗏 then turns around to the four students, 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗁 and 𝗕𝗵𝗲. He quickly dashed towards them and grabbed the four students while hitting 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗁, causing the hand that was on his face to fall off. 𝗕𝗏, who was now holding the four students and 𝗧𝗏, was a couple of feet away from the villains. 𝗵𝗃. What? 𝗕𝗏, everyone, go to the entrance. I'm leaving 𝗧𝗏 and young Tennyson to you. 𝗧𝗏 is unconscious. Hurry. 𝗵𝗃, why yes, sir. 𝗬𝗏, come on Ben, I'll help you. Ben, grunt in pain. Thanks. 𝗵𝗃, 𝗕𝗏 back with the two villains. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗁 was covering his face with his hands as he was having a small panic attack. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗁, it's no good, it's no good, it's no good, I am sorry. Father grabs hand on the ground and puts it on his face. He hit me as he was saving them. It's the violence of a government official. He's fast, as expected. I can't follow him with my eyes. But not as fast as I thought he'd be. I guess it's true, after all. Smiles evilly that he's getting weaker. Back with 𝗕𝗏 and the students, 𝗵𝗃 was carrying 𝗧𝗏 on his back while 𝗵𝗃 was holding 𝗧𝗏's legs. As for 𝗧𝗏, she helped Ben up with his arm over her shoulder, so he would be able to walk. 𝗵𝗃 turns to 𝗕𝗏. 𝗕𝗏, you can't. That brain villain took one FO. He took a punch that didn't break my arm, but he didn't even twitch. He's gotta be 𝗕𝗏, young 𝗵𝗃. 𝗕𝗏, young 𝗵𝗃. 𝗕𝗏, it's fine. The students then head to the entrance, leaving 𝗕𝗏 to deal with the villains. 𝗕𝗏 turns back around, then lunged at 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗁. 𝗕𝗏, Carolina 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗁, 𝗕𝗵. 𝗕𝗏, smash. 𝗕𝗏, smash. 𝗕𝗏's attack was then blocked by 𝗕𝗵𝗲, who didn't even flinch. 𝗕𝗵𝗲 went to grab the hero, but 𝗕𝗏 was able to dodge the villain. 𝗕𝗏, it seriously has no effect at all. 𝗕𝗏 punched 𝗕𝗵𝗲 in the stomach, but it still had no effect. 𝗕𝗏, in that case. 𝗕𝗏 then gives multiple punches to 𝗕𝗵𝗲's head. 𝗕𝗵𝗲 roars at it, tries to catch 𝗕𝗏. The symbol of peace then backs away from the villain. 𝗕𝗏, it doesn't work on his face either. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗁, it doesn't work because of shock expression. In order to cause damage to 𝗕𝗵𝗲, it would be most effective to slowly gouge out his flesh. Whether he'd let you do that or not is a different issue, though. 𝗕𝗏, thanks for telling me that. 𝗕𝗏 then grabbed 𝗕𝗵𝗲 from behind and went to perform a German suplex on it. 𝗕𝗏, If that's true, then it's easier for me. All Might then leans back and smashes 𝗵𝗃, causing a massive explosion of dust. Back with 𝗬𝗏 and the others, they were looking back at the fight while walking towards the entrance. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, how did he make a suplex look like an explosion? All Might's on a whole different level. 𝗬𝗏, even though he's a rookie teacher who can't teach without looking at his notes. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, get them. Aim for the ball. 𝗬𝗏, were we overthinking it? He's amazing. Ben, I'm not so sure about that. Look, they all look as the dust clears and they see 𝗵𝗃 grips his hand stronger as All Might's left side of his stomach starts to bleed, 𝗬𝗃 him to cough up BLD from his mouth. 𝗵𝗃 grips his hand stronger as All Might's left side of his stomach starts to bleed, 𝗬𝗃 him to cough up BLD from his mouth. Shigaraki, were you trying to keep him from moving by sticking him deep in concrete? You won't be able to stop him like that. Because 𝗵𝗃 is as strong as you are. Chuckles, this is good, Qing. It's an unexpected opportunity. 𝗵𝗃 then starts to pull All Might into Qing portal as All Might tries to get away from the large villain's grasp. The four students only watch as they are unable to do anything until Midoriya speaks up. Midoriya, Finn. Ben, what is it? Midoriya, I'm sorry, but do you think you can walk without Ajui's help? Ben, why? Midoriya, Ajui. 𝗬𝗏, what is it, Midoriya? Midoriya, trade places with me carrying Mr. Aizawa. 𝗬𝗏, Karo. But what? Ben then pulls his arm away from 𝗬𝗏 and holds his side while 𝗬𝗏 trades places with Midoriya. Midoriya then starts to run towards All Might, shocking the three. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, Midoriya. What is he doing? Ben, 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗏. You two keep heading to the entrance. Ben runs after Midoriya, trying to ignore the pain that he's in. He then looks at the Omnitrix and sees that it was still in the red. Ben, now would be a good time to be recharged. Midoriya, All Might. Midoriya was finally close to All Might and the villains. He quickly reaches his hand out to All Might, but suddenly the warp villain appeared in front of him. Qing, how foolish. Ben, Midoriya. The warp villain then opened up a portal and got ready to absorb Midoriya, but suddenly, Bakugo appears from the side and blasted Qing. Bakugo, you're in the way, Deku. Bakugo then grabbed the warp villain by his metal collar and slammed him onto the ground. Then ice starts to form under 𝗵𝗃's right foot as its right side becomes covered in ice and freezing him. Todoroki, all I heard was that you all are here to kill All Might. All Might took this opportunity to be released from 𝗵𝗃's grip and got away as he flips over next to Todoroki holding his injury. Suddenly, Kirishima jumped down and tried to hit Shigaraki, but failed as the villain dodged the attack. Kirishima, 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗏. I didn't get to show off. Bakugo, stop acting so stuck up, foggy nobody. Todoroki, the symbol of peace can't be killed by the likes of you. Ben finally catches up and stands next to everyone. Ben, you guys showed up just in time. Midoriya, Kaken. Everyone. Bakugo, looking down at Qing, you careless 𝗬𝗪𝗔. You're just what I thought you'd be. Only certain parts of you can turn into a misty warp gate. The fog gate covered your actual body, right? Back then, if you were completely made of mist and physical attacks couldn't touch you, then you wouldn't have said, that was close. Qing tried to move, but Bakugo slammed him back and uses his quirk to intimidate him. Bakugo, don't move. If I feel like you're moving suspiciously, then I'll blow you up. Kirishima, his behavior isn't very hero-like. Ben, tell me about it. Shigaraki, in addition to capturing them, they're almost all uninjured. Kids these days are amazing. They make the League of Villains look bad. 𝗵𝗃's body starts to break apart from the ice, but it still continues to move and everyone looked at it shocked. Midoriya, even though his body was broken, he's still moving. All Might, get back, everyone. The 𝗵𝗃 breaks the remaining ice on its body as it starts to regenerate its broken limbs and stood back up. All Might, what? His quirk wasn't shock absorption. Shigaraki, I didn't say that was all he had. This is his super regeneration. 𝗵𝗃 has been modified to take on All Might at 100%. He's a super efficient human sandbag. First, we need to get our gate back. Go 𝗵𝗃. 𝗵𝗃 dashes towards Bakugo and attacks him. The attack caused a powerful shockwave which pushed all the students back. As everyone stands back up, they look back where they were and see from out of the smoke that 𝗵𝗼 was able to free 𝗬𝗁𝗁𝗁, and that 𝗵𝗃𝗲 was not there. 𝗕𝗂𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁. But they soon noticed that 𝗵𝗃𝗲 was right next to them. 𝗕𝗂𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁. You dodged. That's amazing. 𝗵𝗃𝗲. No, shut up, some. Qirishima. Then how they all look back at the figure who was hit instead of 𝗵𝗃𝗲 and see it was All Might with both of his arms up and coughing. All Might, breathing heavily. Do you not know to hold back? Shigaraki, it was to rescue my companions. I had no choice. I mean earlier, that plain-looking one. He was about to punch me with everything he had, you know. Violence for the sake of others makes it admirable. Isn't that right here? You know what, All Might? I'm angry. I'm angry at this world that categorizes the same violent acts as heroic or villainous, deciding what's good and what's bad. Symbol of peace. You're just a device to repress violence. Violence only breeds violence. The world will know this once we kill you. All Might, that's preposterous. The eyes of white-collar criminals like you burn silently. You just want to enjoy this yourself. If one you liar. Todoroki, it's 3 against 6. Midoriya, 𝗬𝗁𝗁𝗁 already exposed the fog's weakness. Kirishima, these guys are crazy, but if we back up All Might activates quirk we can push them back. Ben, I'm with Kirishima on this one. All Might can use a little backup. Some feedback up. Ben then tries to activate the Omnitrix and go alien, but Ben then tries to activate the Omnitrix and go alien, but Ben. Aw man, you just love to embarrass me, don't you? All Might, no. All of you run away. Todoroki, you would have been in trouble if I hadn't done anything earlier, right? All Might, that's a different story, young Todoroki. Thanks. But it's fine. Just watch as a pro gives it everything he's got. Midoriya, All Might, you're bleeding besides. Times All Might just gives Midoriya a thumbs up as he looks back at the 3 villains. Shigaraki, 𝗵𝗼, 𝗬𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁. Get him. I'll deal with the children. The 4 students all look up at the hole where 𝗵𝗼 was burst out of. Kirishima, is this a comic book or something? It's like he nullified the shock absorption. His brute strength is crazy. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, what insane power does this mean? He rushed at him so fast he couldn't regenerate. All Might, I really have gotten weaker. They all look over to where the voice came from and see All Might. All Might, in my prime, 5 hits would have been enough. But it took more than 300 hits. Looks back at villain now. Villains, I'm sure we'd all like to end this as soon as possible. Shigaraki, scratching neck. Hey, what's going on? He's not any weaker at all. Did that guy lie to me? All Might, what's wrong? You're not coming. You said you'd clear this or something, right? All Might, what's wrong? You're not coming. You said you'd clear this or something, right? All Might, come and get me if you can. Shigaraki stagger back as he feels the intimidation of the symbol of peace. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, All Might. Todoroki, as expected, it looks like there is no need for us to fight. Kirishima, Midoriya. We should get out of here now. It'll be worse if we end up getting taken hostage instead. Ben, Kirishima's right, we better get out of here while we still have a chance. Just leave this to All Might. What's wrong? Shigaraki, even more irritated and stressed out, he starts to scratch his neck again, but more furiously this time. Shigaraki, if only I had 𝗵𝗼, that guy would have been able to go up against him without thinking about anything. Kurojiiri, Tamura. Shigaraki. Please calm yourself. Looking carefully, I see that he was defiantly weakened from the damage of 𝗵𝗼's attacks. Besides, the children appear to be frozen in fear. We still have underlings who can be used. There are likely only a few minutes left before reinforcements come. If you and I work together, we still have a chance of killing him. Shigaraki, yeah, that's right, we have no choice but to do it. I mean, we have the last boss right in front of our eyes. From behind, the 4 students' villains start to stand back up. Kirishima, All Might will do something about the main bad guys. Hardens arms, let's go help the others. As the 3 prepare to head to the other students, at the Ben notices that Midoriya was still watching All Might. Ben, Midoriya. Shigaraki dashes towards All Might with killing intent. Shigaraki, this is revenge for 𝗵𝗼. Kurojiiri follows Shigaraki as he prepares to make a warp hole. But suddenly Midoriya jumps towards the villains about to attack All Might, shocking everyone. Kirishima, Midoriya. Ben then hears a sound that was music to his ears. He looks down and sees that the Omnitrix was fully recharged, and without a second thought he activates the Omnitrix and slams down on the faceplate. Midoriya was now close to Kurojire's metal collar and was preparing to blast it away with his punch, but Shigaraki puts his hand through one of Kurojire's warp holes and his hand was now in front of Midoriya's face. Kurojire, I won't fall for that again. Suddenly a black and blue blur shows up on the opposite side of Shigaraki. Shigaraki looks at the blur and sees a giant lizard-like creature with sharp claws in front of him. Shigaraki looks at the blur and sees a giant lizard-like creature with sharp claws in front of him. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏. Gets your hands away from him. 𝗧𝗏𝗏 move his razor-sharp claw at Shigaraki, but a purple warp hole appears in front of the villain as he puts his hand through it. Another warp hole forms behind 𝗧𝗏𝗏 as Shigaraki's hand comes out of it. 𝗧𝗏𝗏 tries to dodge, but the pain of his broken ribs from earlier stopped him. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, oh no. As the Shigaraki's hands grow closer and closer to Midoriya and 𝗧𝗏𝗏, a loud noise was then heard as both of Shigaraki's hands starts to bleed and stop. Midoriya falls on the ground while 𝗧𝗏𝗏 kneels down on one knee while holding his side. All Might turns towards entrance. Are they here? Nizu, sorry everyone. Sorry we're late. I gathered all who were immediately available. Ida, I, 𝗕𝗫𝗁𝗍, Class 1A Representative Ida, I, 𝗕𝗫𝗁𝗍, Class 1A Representative Ida, have now returned. Shigaraki, ah man, they're here, it's game over now. Shall we go home and try again later, Kurojire? Shigaraki was then interrupted as he was shot with multiple shots by the pro hero Snipe. Kurojire, Tamura Shigaraki. Kurojire, who was checking on his comrade, was suddenly getting sucked on by 13's quirk. Shigaraki, I may have failed this time, but I will kill you next time. Symbol of peace, All Might. With that said, Shigaraki and Kurojire warp out of USJ. Midoriya, frustrated, I wasn't able to do anything. All Might, that's not true. If it wasn't for those few seconds that you two bought for me, I would have been killed. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, you're over-exaggerating. All Might, I'm sure even if we didn't step in you. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 looked towards All Might and what he saw shocked him. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 looked towards All Might and what he saw shocked him. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, shocked W. What? All Might, you both saved me. Midoriya, All Might crying with relief, I'm so glad you're okay. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, All Might. What happened? You're so thin. Midoriya, Ben, please calm down and be quiet. They'll hear you. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, Kirishima, Ben. Midoriya. The three's attention was caught by Kirishima, who was running towards them. Midoriya, oh, Kirishima, are you guys alright? All Might, young Kirishima, I applaud your concern for your friends. But wait, he'll find out. Wait, minute. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 then realizes All Might's expression. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, he must be keeping this a secret. In that case, I'll stop him. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 tries to stand up and speeds over to Kirishima but falls back down on his knees as he was reminded of the overwhelming pain of his broken ribs. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, DMN, my ribs. But suddenly, the ground starts to rise up and a wall was created in front of Kirishima, causing him to stop in his tracks. Kirishima looks over to see the pro hero 𝗬𝗵𝗲. 𝗬𝗵𝗲, we want to make sure that all the students are safe, so please gather in front of the gate. We will deal with the injured here. Kirishima, that makes sense. Roger that. Runs back to Bakugo and Todoroki. Hey, he said to gather in front of the gate. All Might and Midoriya sigh in relief as All Might sits on the ground exhausted. All Might, thanks. You saved me, 𝗬𝗵𝗲𝗏. 𝗬𝗵𝗲𝗏, I am a fan of yours too. Let's get you to the nurse's office while keeping you hidden. But man, you act recklessly every time. All Might, if I didn't act recklessly, I would have been killed. That was how strong the enemy was. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, sorry, but can I please get an explanation on what's going on here? All Might, right, you must be confused. Well, since you found out, might as well tell you the whole story. Outside of the USJ, all the students were all together while the police were escorting the arrested villains out of the building. Currently, a police officer with a hat and trench coat was counting all the students. 15, 16, 17, 18. Other than the boy with both legs seriously injured, and 𝗵𝘃𝗁, everyone else seems unharmed. Let's have the students return to their classroom for now. We won't be questioning them right away, anyway, right? 𝗬𝗓, detective, what about Mr. Aizawa? The detective pulls out his phone and calls one of the police officers that know about Aizawa's condition and puts it on speaker so everyone could hear. Police Officer 1, through phone comminuted fractures in both arms and a facial fracture. Fortunately, there does not seem to be any serious brain damage. However, his orbital floor has broken into small pieces and his eyes may suffer from its aftereffects. That's what he said. 𝗬𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗵 𝗧𝗵𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵, what about 13? 13 has been treated. The laceration from the back to upper arm was bad, but 13 will survive. All Might will also survive. Recovery Girl's healing is enough to treat him, so he's in the nurse's office. 𝗬𝗧𝗏, Deku. Ida, what about Midoriya? Midori. Oh, treatment in the nurse's office is enough for him. 2. 𝗬𝗧𝗏? Good Jiro, worried what about Ben? He's at the nurse's office as well. He only had a few broken ribs. Jiro, broken ribs. How? Apparently he went toe-to-toe with a villain. He was lucky when he was still in his alien form when he got his injuries, because if he wasn't it could have costed his life. He's still reckless as ever. Jiro. That idiot. Jiro looks down with a worried expression as Yaoyorozu puts a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Now, go back to your classroom. Everyone. Yes, sir. Skip. The sky was orange as it indicates that it was now evening. In the nurse's office, All Might, Midoriya, and Ben back in his human form were all healed from their injuries and were on their own beds. After they were all healed by Recovery Girl, All Might told Ben everything. His skinny skeleton-like form, his time limit of his muscle form, why he came to you. And even told him about One for All. Ben, so let me get this straight, you're only able to do hero work for a limited time, and you pass down your quirk to Midoriya, and that's why he's always injured when he uses it. Ah man, this is more confusing than algebra. All Might. I know it's a lot to take in and unbelievable, but it's the truth. Ben, man, who thought All Might had this crazy hidden story? Midoriya, wait, you believe everything he said? Ben, yeah, what? Midoriya, well, it's just doesn't it seem unbelievable? Ben, yeah, it does. But it doesn't seem like you guys are lying. Plus, if you think about it, the Omnitrix seems like a unbelievable story too, but it's real. All Might, I'm glad you believe me. Young Tennyson, now that you know this secret, I must ask of you to keep One for All, me and young Midoriya a secret. Also, by knowing about One for All it might put you in danger as well. It will be dangerous, but as the symbol of peace and your teacher, I beg of you to keep this secret from anyone. Ben, carefree. Okay. All Might and Midoriya were shocked by Ben's simple answer. Midoriya, hold on really. That easily. Ben, this secret is important to you and All Might, right? Then I'll keep my mouth shut. Midoriya, but we barely know each other and you might be in danger just by knowing about One for All. How can you just accept it that easily? Ben was silent as Midoriya and All Might wait for his answer. Ben, I guess it's because me and you are alike. Midoriya, we're alike. What do you mean? Ben, smiles because I was quirkless like you. Midoriya, you were quirkless. Ben, well, actually I'm still quirkless. Midoriya, I can't believe it, there were so many rumors on the internet that you had some type of quirk. Ben chuckles, yeah, there are a lot, but I have no quirk. Just this high-tech alien device that transforms me into aliens. Just like you, I was quirkless, but I still wanted to become a hero. Then one day I found the Omnitrix and I was given a chance to become a hero. And during the 5 years having the Omnitrix, I was in danger most of the time because some alien wanted the Omnitrix. So, I know what it's like to be in your shoes. So, don't worry. I'll keep your guys' secret safe. Midoriya smiles, thank you, Ben. Excuse me. They all look at the door and see the officer with the trench coat holding his hat. All Might, it's been a while. All Might, coughs, 𝗫𝗫𝗁𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗵. You're here, Ben? 𝗬𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁 YouTube and 𝗵𝗃𝗲, All Might. Is it all right to show that form? All Might, yeah, it's fine. But because he's no 𝗕𝗂𝗁𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝟏 my best friend in the force. He even told me about the day when Ben took down that giant robot when he was only 10. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, Ben, why do you know him? Ben, because he was one of the officers that suggested me to go to examine the Omnitrix by taking me to places I haven't even heard of. He even suggested to cut my arm off since the Omnitrix doesn't come off. 𝗧𝗏𝗁, for the millionth time, Ben, that was a joke. Ben, you can't joke about that kind of thing. Also, he kept an eye on my every movement for 3 months. 𝗧𝗏𝗁, I kept an eye on you because I had a report where it said an alien was in the back of an ice cream truck eating all the ice cream. So, I had to make sure you wouldn't do any more schemes with the Omnitrix, Ben. That was one time. 𝗧𝗏𝗁, anyways, sorry to cut to the chase, but All Might, can you give me details about the 𝗕𝗏𝗍𝗍? Wait. Please wait. More importantly, are all the students okay? What about Aizawa Eraser here and 13? 𝗧𝗏𝗁, other than those two, only a few students have light injuries, and the 2 teachers are in stable condition for now. All Might, I see. 𝗧𝗏𝗁, if you 3 heroes had not risked your lives, then the students would not have survived. All Might, you're wrong about one thing, 𝗧𝗏𝗁. The students also fought and risked their lives. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, Ben, All Might, have there even been any first years who experienced a real fight so soon, survived, and learned of fear and the world of adults? The villains did something dumb. This class is strong, they will become strong heroes. I'm certain of that.